Welcome to another edition of We Need to Talk About Movies. Brought to you by BanterFlix.com. And now, here's your host, Jim McLean.
Welcome to the party, pal. I'm your host, Jim McLean, the editor-in-chief of the BanterFlix movie review website. Welcome to the latest episode of We Need to Talk About Movies. This is the last of our Christmas specials, and it's the beloved BanterFlix Christmas tradition. That is our look through the best of Christmas TV, but this year we're doing it slightly different. If you listened last year, you'll know that last year we put Christmas TV up against the best of streaming. Well, we're doing that again, and we're going even a little bit further, because this year we're going to have Christmas TV going up against online streaming and physical media. Yeah, remember those? So this episode was a lot of fun to record. I was joined by Bill Taylor and Joe McElroy, and we had special guest judges who were deciding on the winner for each day as we went from Christmas Eve to New Year's Day. And that is Dan and Stephen from the MC Podcast. And this episode's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy. So let's get stuck in. So, welcome to the BanterFlix Christmas Special, our annual look through the best of what's on TV. Over the past few years, this Christmas special has changed. It used to be just picking TV, but now we've accepted there are streaming alternatives. But this year, we're adding in physical media. Remember those for the granddads out there when you had to go out and get DVD, Blu-ray, maybe VHS, all that kind of stuff. But yes, on this Christmas special, TV is going up against online streaming, and that is Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. Those are the streaming services that we've picked, and representing those is Bill Bullshit Taylor. Hello, Bill.
Yeah, how's it going?
I haven't called you that in a long time, Bill.
It's always in your heart, Jim. It's always in your heart.
It's either that or Bill the Grumpy Gamer, but I think Bill Bullshit Taylor has a better ring to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I can't dispute it either.
So, technically, Bill, you are the reigning champion, because last year you represented...
The champion!
Yeah, you represented streaming. Although, come on, you threw in a few dodgy ones. Now TV, is that really a streaming service?
Yes, it is.
I don't know if the kids would say that, Bill.
I'm pretty sure Ofcom would disagree with you.
Through Ofcom, we're going with a thing. So we're setting you. You're the reigning champion. You're like in the red corner, Bill. So
you're building
me
me up too much.
Hopefully this is not going to be like the Rocky Balboa from Rocky 3 when he comes in and he's kind of had a year of just kind of success and nothing but it. He hasn't been training properly, hasn't been going through the furthest regions of what streaming has available. Hopefully not. I'm here. I'm the Clubber Lang. I'm going to be representing Christmas TV, what's kind of going to be going down. But this year we thought we'd make this a three-way. And what a three-way it is indeed, because representing physical media, remember those? Honestly, when's the last time anyone went out to get anything physically? I think most people now, well, actually, I tell that a lie. I've got some physical media, some collector's editions, but representing the physical media realm is BanterFlix's deputy editor, Joe McElroy.
How's it going, everyone?
Joe, are you feeling the pressure? Because you're kind of like I don't know if I'm Clubber Lang. I don't really know.
I feel like Paulie right now. He's a complete loser having to go out and try and find the best I could get from Poundland.
And you don't even have like a cool robot as well. It's just
that's a film away.
Yeah, you didn't have a cool robot to even kind of go out and get those for you. So do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about, so you've kind of let the cat out of whatever that phrase, you kind of let them already know.
Yeah.
But you've been to Poundland. We could have sent you to HMV. We could have sent you to a charity shop. We could have sent you and let you use Amazon, but no. In the current COVID pandemic, we sent you with £10 in your pocket. Where did we send you to?
To where dreams come true. Poundland So yeah, essentially I have to scrape the barrel, as it were, to try and find the best I could get for, covering Christmas Eve to New Year's Day. And to say it was a challenge, it was, that's putting it lightly.
Okay, but I think you'll be worthy to the challenge. Now, normally I sit as the impartial advisor. I usually kind of decide who's the winner. Last year, it was Bill was going up against our very own Therese. So she was representing TV and failed horribly. Bill, as we say, is the reigning champion. So since I am here, I'm the person I came up with the idea of yes, we all love Christmas TV. Christmas TV is secretly brilliant. Everybody goes on about there's never anything on. I'm here to say that is indeed incorrect. But because I'm representing TV, I can't be the judge because I wouldn't be impartial then. I would just declare it null and void and TV is the winning. So we thought we would reach out to the greatest podcast you've never heard, MC Podcast, and we have their hosts, Dan and Stephen. So hello to you guys.
Hello, folks.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
You are the Len Goodman and Darcy Bustle of this podcast. But before we kind of get into round one, tell us a little bit about the greatest podcast none of our listeners will ever have heard of.
Well, yes, our podcast is me and Stephen, obviously. We have guests on, obviously yourself. Jim came on with Trez, and we cover a range of topics like politics, sports, and the most important one of all is movies. We're on all major platforms, Spotify, iTunes, and all the rest. But yeah, it's usually just a conversation me and Stephen have with each other about anything and everything. Recently, we've been trying to get on other guests. Like we recently had the author Jar Williams on, had a Paddy Barnes, a boxer. Yeah, we'll have a few good guests on, obviously BanterFlix themselves. But yeah.
I think the key takeaway from our podcast is we probably bicker a lot. We probably talk about a lot of topics that are way above our heads, but automatically think we have a right to have an opinion on these topics. So if you're at all interested in two people who know very, very little about politics, but we're more willing to have an hour conversation about it, then our podcast is the one to check out.
You've definitely sold us, I can say Therese and I ran it. We had a lot of fun. I think we kind of struggled, but then that's true BanterFlix style as well. We really struggled to stay on the chosen topic. I think we went off in any tangent we possibly could. So are you feeling the pressure tonight? Are you feeling, right now as we record, this Strictly Come Dancing final is on? Is this kind of like possibly an audition, next year, maybe, if they can't come around, just get MC Podcasts, we can give 7 if you need.
It is a big task, this. I don't really know how we're going to decide. Because as I said about our podcast, we never agree with each other. So I don't know how we're going to come to terms, come to an agreement on which one wins, but it'll be interesting to see where it takes us.
Okay.
Well, I assumed Stephen had a point. I had a point because I'm programmed to automatically disagree with Stephen, whatever he said. So it's gonna be tough, but be fun.
Are you open to bribes?
Of course, obviously, always.
Beautiful. Let's just see, because we'll get we're recording via Zoom, so maybe get some private chat going on. It's like, if you get this point, anyway. So. Look, let's not beat around the bush. I think it's going to be interesting to see if you guys have to actually agree on something. But if it becomes too chaotic, we might just go a point each, a day each. We'll see how it goes. And we'll start with day one. That is Christmas Eve. And just generally, before we kind of get down to our selections, what are everyone's traditions on Christmas Eve? Not so much kind of watching TVs. What is your usual plan of the day, POA, for Christmas Eve? Are any of you, well, more so ever this year when we're about to go into a 6-week lockdown, are any of you still kind of going out? Because we're all men here. Are we all the token men going out to do our Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve? Jesus. They're cutting it short. I mean, chaos in the shops. I do 3 main things on Christmas Eve. Get drunk, watch Father Ted Christmas Special, and It's Wonderful Life. Them 3 things every year.
In what order?
That order. Get drunk, Father Ted, and It's Wonderful Life, and always doze off near the end before the best part.
Yeah, so you don't even have a cry, you just wake up with a hangover?
As you wake up at the end when he's running through the town going, Merry Christmas! I'm like, this is class. Go to bed now. Go to bed happy.
I went to see it last night in the cinema, and yes, I had a wee blub, but then I blub at a lot of things, so that's nothing new. What about you, Stephen? What are you getting up to on Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve, I will be working, unfortunately. But that night, I will bubbling up with my family, so I'll be able to call down, probably have a couple of drinks, and then it most likely will be A Wonderful Life, because I think Christmas Eve on A Wonderful Life is the one that I save, like the Christmas movie I save to watch on Christmas Eve. I'll go through Jingle All the Way and Elf and everything else on the way up to Christmas, but Christmas Eve is saved for The Wonderful Life.
See, me, it would be Die Hard. The Christmas tradition that is Die Hard. I just haven't got it perfected just yet. I need someone on the internet to tell me at what point can I be watching Die Hard and the stroke of midnight can Hans Gruber be falling from Nakatomi Plaza so I can literally say Christmas has arrived. I know we probably talked about this last year, Bill, but what are you doing on Christmas Eve?
I'm gonna change gears this year. Normally it's a family occasion and all that sort of stuff. This year I finished work on the 23rd. I plan on getting shit faced all the way through to the 2nd of January.
Is that when you're back? Because I'm back on the 4th.
No, I'm back on the 4th, so I kind of reckon I'll give myself 2 days of a nice hangover.
Just to dry out.
Yeah, it's just this year's been fucking shit, man. So I'm just gonna drink to forget it all. Gonna wreck a house, burn the sofa in the garden, see what happens.
It's going to be like that episode of Father Ted where they're doing, is it the Eurovision one or just the song contest? The guy who's never drunk in his life and then he has the drink and just wrecks the place. Yeah, that's going to be Bill. Joe, what about you? Last but not least.
I usually have a tradition with mates where we all gather like huge, copious amounts of McDonald's and sit down and watch Jingle All the Way. And year after year, you know, I've reached a point now where I've seen it so many times, I don't even resent it or laugh at it. It's just there in the background. You know, we start making up scenarios like how the film's cursed because like a few of the cast members are dead or have had mental breakdowns in real life. So it's a lot of fun. Really gets you in the Christmas spirit of things, you know?
Okay, Jesus.
A couple of you have mentioned...
It's grim, like, because we've done it so many years, but we can't break tradition at all.
A couple of you have mentioned Jingle All the Way. It's a film I completely detest. I do not like Jingle All the Way at all.
Jingle All the Way is probably one of the most underrated Christmas movies of all time. I mean, Stephen had a conversation about this on our podcast, and I think it gets a bad rep for no reason because it's just this great Christmas movie.
It gets a bad rep for being shite. That's kind of what you're saying.
It's not because from my
well, hang on a minute, because I should say at this point, this is kind of like you're kind of almost in advertising now in our podcast. Like, if you want to hear our reason to why it's such an underrated Jingle All the Way, go back and listen to our own podcast. You know, I'm perfectly okay with that, but give a very short taster of kind of what our listeners would expect if they tuned into that.
Well, I just think Jingle All the Way on the surface of it all is your typical cheesy Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and obviously Sinbad, and it's great. But if you scratch the surface just a little, it's literally a critique on capitalism at Christmas. And that's why Sinbad's character is probably the best character in the movie. And if you watch it, when you watch it as a kid, you enjoy it. But when you watch it as an adult, you actually relate to Sinbad's character, who is the mailman in it.
Yep.
I just like when Arnie says, put the cookies down.
See, that's a simple explanation, Stephen, there. Cuts it right to the core.
You know what? I think Stephen gets the point in that one.
Anakin Skywalker's in it. Yay!
Yeah. Bill, we've gone into great depth of how his life has fallen apart since being in Jingle All the Way.
That's true. Poor Jake.
He's coming back, though, somehow, weirdly.
Yeah, he's going to play a corpse.
Yeah, sorry, it's not Jake.
In the Mandalorian.
It's not Jake Lloyd that's coming back. It's the other one.
It's the other one.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. But anyway, enough of that. I think there will be a lot of digressions between each day. So, Christmas Eve. Now, I'm going with the tried and tested Radio Times. £5, I know. But there's a lot of interviews there. All I can say is this year, you know, when I've been on the toilet, I've had a lot of heavy, you know, reading. There's some great articles. You know, we've got stuff like Doctor Who. We have, you know, there's Professor Brian Cox being interviewed. I've enjoyed it while I've been on the toilet. It can't all be just playing, you know, games on my iPhone. You know, I don't do that. But I know that other TV listing guides are available. We could, this is what we used to do. We used to sit and say what has the critics recommended. It's Andrew Collins is Radio Times go-to critic. His pick, you will be very appreciative, Dan, is It's a Wonderful Life at 2:35 on Channel 5. That's early. You know, I don't know if you want to get drunk that early. Then you've got to watch the Father Ted Christmas special Yeah, 2:35, 5:10. You could be, because that's the thing. I don't like getting drunk on Christmas Eve. I don't like having a hangover on Christmas Day. The answer, of course, is just to say sauced until Boxing Day, but that's not the way I'm going to go. It is slim pickings. I was tempted with Paddington 2 because I fucking love Paddington 2 because Hugh Grant's excellent in it. I have a query about this, and I'll let the judges decide, because the film they've picked, and it's in the Christmas Eve section, it's 12:15 at night, so technically that's kind of Christmas Day, but it's Ghost Stories on BBC Two. I love and I just adore Ghost Stories. If you like horror, horror is always a big thing for me at Christmas anyway. I'll say that again because I got an update. Horror is always a big thing for me over Christmas anyway. I always love checking out like the likes of Vincent Price. But this is a kind of a mini anthology, seemingly unconnected. Have any of you seen Ghost Stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I like it very much. It's from the guys that did League of Gentlemen, or part of the team that did League of Gentlemen. It's just a great, underrated British horror film. And it also has Paul Whitehouse. And if you've been watching Paul Whitehouse out fishing with Bob Monkhouse, not Bob Monkhouse, that'll be a weird one because he's dead. But if you've, he is dead. If you've seen Paul Whitehouse out with Bob Mortimer, that's the one, which has been a lot of fun this year, getting into that series. I would recommend it. I'm a bit dubious about it, but if the Radio Times says this is Christmas Eve, I'm putting it in Christmas Eve. So that is my pick. 12:15 to 1:50 a.m. If you're up late wrapping presents or
Stop
whatever.
Christmas Eve, Jim.
That's cheating. Cheating already. Only the first round.
You've already
and he's in already.
Christmas Eve.
Jim,
It's
you've
not
already
Christmas
lost.
Eve.
You don't know what the others have picked yet, guys. You know, that's all I can say. Because, you know, Christmas Day could be my same pick. But I am going, if Radio Times, I had this conversation with my wife. She has picked, I'm looking at hers. Well, she's actually picked Moana on BBC One. But since that's on Disney Plus, I couldn't go for that. I'd be tempted with Paddington 2. If the judges are going to have an issue with my first pick for Ghost Stories, I will happily segue to Paddington 2, which I love just purely for Hugh Grant in that film. And if you have kids around the house, which I don't, you could watch that. But if not, just stay up, get drunk, and watch Ghost Stories at 12:15. That's me. What about you, Bill? Because you're picking these from random. You're not allowed.
Yeah, I'm going to roll the dice. Here we go. Bit of excitement. A 10. What's 10? Woo! 10 is we're heading to Netflix, and it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, God. Great movie.
Fuck you, Bill.
Fantastic.
Take the award now.
Yeah. So Christmas Day.
Cancel that
Eva?
subscription.
That's Christmas Eve.
But Bill, you don't know what Poundland has to offer. So let's go.
Down, Bill.
Again,
Let's go.
Joe, to give TV a bit of a chance, Joe is picking these at random.
Yeah. So it's not this Tesco.
Here we go.
First up, we have an action classic, Cliffhanger.
Oh,
And
oh, I love Cliffhanger.
put it this way, it's kind of festive. It's set in the mountains and snow and stuff, so you know you've got a sort of Christmassy link there.
He looks like a Christmas star.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's hanging off a tree and all. You know, if I had a Christmas tree, I could put it behind. It would suit perfectly.
Hang on, Joe. Are you trying to start this already? That Cliffhanger is a Christmas movie?
I'm trying to find some tenuous
It
link
starts
towards
here.
a Christmas. Okay.
It starts here.
I'm pretty
10.
certain we could get Sly involved in that one. It's like, yeah, bonjour, it's a Christmas movie. I always intended it to be one. I don't know who that was an
He already
impression.
has a Christmas film. No, Rocky 4 is a Christmas film. So
He does. He does.
But anyway, Cliffhanger.
Okay, so
It's one of Stallone's better action films. You know, John Lithgow's fantastic as a villain. Michael Rooker's great in it as well. You know, what more could you want?
Okay.
There's our three choices for Christmas Eve. Dan and Stephen, what are you going to pick? What's going to be your choice for what you're going to watch?
So Paddington 2, Into the Spider-Verse and Cliffhanger. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can't go for Ghost Stories. That's Christmas Day. Sorry.
So I think
that's a basic
we're
logic.
ruling out Ghost Stories because it's creeping over into Christmas Day.
It is Christmas Day, so yeah.
For
So
me,
there you go.
I'm a sucker for cheesy action films.
Yeah.
So Cliffhanger would come close, and I think it's a brilliant cheesy action film.
Mhm.
But Into the Spider-Verse is actually one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. So
100%.
I think if I had the choice, I don't know, Don, if you're going to agree, I would have to go Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably the easiest decision thus far. Obviously, it's been the first one, but hopefully it doesn't get as easy as this. But Into Spider-Verse is a fantastic movie. I'm not big into Marvel and stuff and all too, but that there, when I saw it in cinema, it blew me away. And I'm excited for the second one. I don't know what to expect from the second one, because sometimes you should just keep it with the one standalone movie. But Cliffhanger, great movie. Ghost Stories is Christmas Day, so can't pick that. So yeah, I'll go for Into Spider-Verse.
Okay, I'll accept that. Are any of you excited by the new, it seems, live action version of Into the Spider-Verse that Spider-Man 3, the new kind of trilogy, the new version, is turned out to be, with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and I think Emma Stone and I think possibly Kirsten Dunst are possibly making an appearance. Are you excited about the thought of a live action version of Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I heard they're getting the pig from Babe in to do Spider-Ham.
I just want Nick Cage. I just want Nick Cage to do Spider-Man Noir. That's what I want.
I think I'm just a bit exhausted in general with Spider-Man. I just think there's only so many, and then you play the game, and the game was great, but there's just only so many times that, to the point, even the Tom Holland Spider-Man I wasn't that fussed on, because I think I'm just got so tired of the character.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been done so many times now, a bit too much.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man, so I'm glad to see him back in it. I thought Holland was good. Garfield was shocking, to be fair. And then movies need to be forgotten about and destroyed. So mixed feelings about it. But Tobey Maguire, yeah, I'm glad to see him back.
I quite liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. It was just a case that he had a pretty crap script, and Sony just didn't know what they wanted to do with Spider-Man at that time. I think I get you mean. Tobey Maguire's my Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is still, the Raimi Spider-Man 2 is still, for me, the definitive big screen outing for Spider-Man. As much as I like Tom Holland, I think Andrew Garfield was a good choice to play Spider-Man. I mean, we were talking on our Wonder Woman special, which was just finishing editing before we started to record this. I quite like what Spider-Man Far From Home kind of did, and its underlying message of the importance of seeking out the truth and, to avoid false news. Yeah, at the same time, I still want to see Crash Bang Wallop Spider-Man kind of saving the day, but I'm not sure who it was said, because there's so many guests this time, but it's a bit like the Lego movie. You can only reinvent the wheel so many times. The Lego movie was great. The sequel was okay. It wasn't bad. It was just okay in comparison.
Yeah. I
think Into the Spider-Verse, a sequel, you can only reinvent that kind of idea so many times. But that's just me. And that's just me disagreeing with you because you didn't pick fucking So that's one for streaming. Maybe it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, Bill. We've still got a few more days to come through.
But the bad thing about this year, I think streaming does have the upper hand. There's so much choice, why you're kind of limited to what's on TV. So I do think Bill has an upper hand there.
Well,
but we are the judges, Dan. So
yes,
if we want to go physical or TV, then we can do that.
You could take that into consideration.
Actually,
as limited as Jim was. Just think of how limited I was. Come on.
I to be honest, I was extremely limited. I mean, only 3 streaming things with thousands of stuff. I mean,
you were just going through the
underdog, like.
Bill, were you going through the proxy and kind of going, let's see what HBO Max has to offer as well? All that kind of stuff. No, well, we've tried our best because there's no getting away from the simple fact that streaming has the complete upper hand here. It has changed things, but that's why we've tried to get Bill to pick stuff at random, and even physical media. Okay, I know it's Poundland, but if you went to like HMV, even Sainsbury's, and spent maybe 30, 40 quid on brand new stuff, you'll probably get better TV than something better to watch than what you've got here. Because the downside to TV guides is you've got all to get together at like a certain time to watch stuff. It's just a bit of fun, guys. I'm not going to hold a clue. Just going to say,
there's only so many times you can watch Call the Midwife anyway. Like,
yeah, 0.
That's true. Hey, if I feel the need, like if Therese was here, she would at this point be defending that, and
she would have reached through and grabbed me for that.
Mm-hmm. Therese Ray, well, I know, like for Christmas Day, she's not here. Therese, what will you be watching Christmas Day? Call the Midwife. That's That's her thing. It's my mum's thing. That's okay. So Christmas Day, you know, how are we? You know, Dan, you got your hangover. You know, what's your kind of plans for Christmas Day? Are you are any of you early risers to kind of get up and get your presents done and dusted? Or are you kind of like me now where you can quite happily lie on to about 11 o'clock and then...
Well, this is my first time actually away from my parents' house. So it's actually a bit exciting, a bit weird. It's not going to feel like Christmas, but me and my girlfriend decided, obviously, we want to spend Christmas together and Christmas Eve in the house and all in the apartment. Like, so, yeah. We usually have a nephew or a niece waking me up on Christmas Day, so I won't have anyone have me alarm, but yeah, I'll be up early probably, straight away, getting them presents.
Is your girlfriend an early riser? Because my lovely wife will be up from like 6 o'clock, and I know the first thing she'll say to me will be, she'll look over and go, "Has he been?" And she'll go downstairs. And like this year's complicated because we've bubbled with my parents, because we have cares coming in from my father, and this year we're taking those cares away over Christmas, so I'm coming down for Christmas Day and Boxing Day to take over that role, and she's gonna have it's going to be tough for her because she is like normally up from 6 o'clock, 6:05, she has those presents opened. It's like just a frenzy. It's like Taz from Tasmania, just this kind of range. She's like, "Oh, I love your present, thank you very much." And you're like, I'm sitting there, I haven't even opened one. And we've kind of said we're going to wait to open our presents till we get down to my parents. So that'll be about 11 or 12 probably on Christmas Day. And I don't know how she's going to go. I think the current plan is we're doing a present on Christmas Eve to kind of like heroin to kind of keep her going, and then on Christmas morning we have a Christmas morning present. Then we're going to do the main presents at Christmas Day. My wife is a massive child. Not really. She's not actually a massive child. I want to clarify that.
Don't say, Jim.
She is she's an eternal child. I'm a man baby. I know that much, but she's even more of a child than I am. But what about you, Bill, Joe, Stephen? What about you guys? What's kind of Christmas Day? I suppose this year, you know, it's going to be strange for all of us, but what's it going to be looking like, do you think, for you all so far?
Usually it's just sort of a standard one where, well, I don't know about this year, but usually it would be a case of back home, you know, just opening the presents early enough. And then we would usually head down to my sister's in Carlingford and have Christmas dinner in. But usually for me, that involves, you know, getting the food in me and then just loads and loads of drink. And then by the time about 7 o'clock rolls along, I'm half cut and they're watching the soaps. But I'm actually loving it because of how fucking terrible the storylines are and how over the top and ridiculous they are. And then they're getting annoyed at me because I'm taking the piss out of everything that's happening.
I don't
and
think
then I doze off.
I've been able to avoid the soaps at Christmas for a long, long time. The only time I remember watching the soaps ever at Christmas was it's 20 years ago. It must be now, at least, in the days of Tricky Dicky on Coronation Street. The first, I think he was one of the first on-screen serial killers on the soap, and yeah, I think he like killed someone. I remember him putting on like leather gloves. Not that I have a glove fetish or anything, but he nearly killed someone. I don't know. And I remember my mother being traumatized by that. Yeah, I don't know. Christmas Day is a bit of a kind of, it's kind of a non-event with us. Not in that way, but like it's a nice dinner and stuff. But then you're kind of like, you're done. I think, Joe, you said kind of like you're just kind of full of food, and then someone just opens up like a thing of Stilton. You're like, oh, okay. Pass over the quality street and let's go for it. Stephen, Bill, what about you? What's Christmas Day?
She's not a Bobby anymore. Like, she's a 13-year-old teenager.
She'll always be your Bobby, though, Bill. You look at her like,
gonna be like.
You look at her like the Mandalorian looks at the baby Yoda.
Oh, lads, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Have you not watched it?
I have watched it. It's fucking tough. I was fucking so close to crying.
Oh, he's balling. I wasn't even close to crying.
I'm
inconsolable.
I was beside my girlfriend, so if I cry, she would like, get out of the apartment. Don't come back.
She's like, there better be a third series.
Oh, it's confirmed. Don't worry.
Yeah,
that's all I confirmed.
Better be.
Yeah.
Because it can't just end there like that. That sucked. I was like, fuck off, Luke. Fuck off. Yeah, Luke. Don't need you.
We all know what happens in that school.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, in terms of what happened in The Last Jedi, what are you thinking about?
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. Either Luke's going to kill him or Kylo Ren Ben is going to kill him.
He skipped Order 66. He'll escape that.
I really thought, Joe, you were going to go like, say, like there's like an intergalactic Operation U-Tree kind of going on there, and we all know what happens at that school. Can I be honest, right? You know, I mean, I love the end because someone I started watching it. My wife's been watching it. She mostly watches it for Baby Yoda. And can you just clarify this? But Stephen, you have seen it, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to be sure. But and there's that sequence with an old friend coming back, and you're like, "Oh, this is pretty awesome. This is great." See the moment it's just pure CGI. It just took me out of it completely, and I was like, you know what? I would have accepted, and it comes back to the film, Dan, you were talking about, It's a Wonderful Life. I was watching it in the cinema last night. I have no problem in believing that Jimmy Stewart is playing an 18-year-old or 19-year-old at the start of that film. I have no issue. Just shave Mark Hamill's beard and have him in as normal.
I said to the missus that would need to be someone like Sebastian Stan, or they have fucking dropped the ball.
Because the pictures of him, with that haircut and that there is perfect. Yeah. Should you look at Dr. Sleep? They managed to do it perfectly. You don't think for a second, oh, those aren't the characters from The Shining. They are. And why can't they do something similar? I don't know. Plus, Disney, it would save them tons of money just hiring an actor to do like a day's work instead of all the CG.
Even just have Mark Hamill playing the role, but just keep him hooded and no beard. And I would have been quite happy at that, because the problem with that CGI stuff and that digital de-aging, because they do it in Wonder Woman 1984 as well, pardon me. And it's when they start to speak, it's the uncanny valley of round the mouth. It's just horrible. And that is meant to be a really powerful moment in The Mandalorian. And I was took out of it by going, that's not Luke. That's some weird fucking CGI gribbly. I don't know. Anyway, Stephen, back to that. Back to Christmas Day. What are you getting up to?
How do you follow that?
You digitally de-age yourself, Stephen. That's what you do.
For me, I always stay over at my parents' house on Christmas Eve. So it's a bit weird this year, because normally it's my brother and my sisters would all stay over, and they're just kind of going to come up on the day. I think getting up in the morning is getting later and later as we get older and older. So we'll probably just get up at a normal time, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and get cracking into some presents. But yeah, very, very similar. A ton of food, drink a load of beer, load of Guinness, a couple of whiskies.
Oh, Guinness! Or after a Christmas Day dinner?
Well, yeah, I'll probably be drinking Guinness up until the dinner, and then I'll maybe switch over to a nice whiskey to kind of finish the night off.
That's going to be the day after. That's going to be. I wouldn't want to be the toileting system in your household. That's kind of like you'll hear it scraping the kind of the pipes as it goes away.
Black Death.
Black Death. Let's not say any further than that. Let's get back to TV. So Christmas Day, again, couple of options. I was very close to just going back and picking Ghost Stories. It's on at 12:15, but I'll not do that. So the one I've picked, and it's a film I know some people might hate me for. Well, I'll decide. There's two I was really going to go for, because I wanted something. This year's been pretty shit for a lot of people. I've had it pretty mild. I know there's other people out there, possibly even yourselves, who've had it really shit this year, and I wanted something to just really cheer me up. And yeah, I'm going to go with it. Some Like It Hot on BBC Two at 1:15. Now, this is my caveat, because 1:15, realistically, some people might be eating their dinner at that time, so it's a bit of a crap time to be watching it. It's 1:15, BBC Two to 3:15. I love it. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon. It's a film that makes me laugh, makes me smile. It has the best closing line in a film ever. The other one I was going to go for, and I know some of you might not love it as much as I do, but I love La La Land. La La Land is another film that, again, makes me smile. And I was so cynical about it. I was so negative about it. And I was kind of going, oh, I'm not in the mood for this. But it really won me over with its charm in the end. But I think for me, I'm sticking with BBC Two, 1:15. Well, that's BBC Two, I think Northern Ireland. I'm assuming that is Some Like It Hot. Bill, what about you?
I'll roll the dice. Let's see what happens. We get a 9. What's 9? Oh, hey, it's Netflix again. Bumblebee.
Ooh,
and
okay.
only for, all right, if you're not a big Transformers fan, it might escape you, but the opening 5-10 minutes of that film is pure Generation 1 Transformers goodness. That is Soundwave in his glory, in pure 3D-ness. It's absolutely exquisite.
Is that the technical term, Bill? 3D-ness?
3Dness.
Yeah. And thankfully, there's no Michael Bay and Megan Fox being leered at in that film either.
Nope, there's nothing. It's actually not a bad story. I like Bumblebee as a character. I think the best, isn't it in Last Night or something? You find out that he was in World War II as a Jeep and stuff, and it's like, I like that the Bumblebee film wasn't set sort of around present day. It's set around the proper time that the Generation 1 is, and it's fantastic. I love Generation 1 Transformers, man. Just takes me right back to being a kid, and then opening presents as a kid of Generation 1 Transformers. It was just, oh.
All right, Bill, stop trying to plug in the judge's heartstrings. Jesus, we get it.
Gotta
You like
do
Transformers.
something.
You like Transformers, okay. Joe,
Yeah.
what has Poundland got to offer?
Bumblebee.
See if it is Bumblebee. No, lucky enough I don't have it. Let's see. Okay, here's one for you. Social Network. We're in the age now where all the relatives we don't like to talk about are posting all sorts of nonsense on Facebook. So what better way to celebrate that magical day than just reminding ourselves of how this bastard started it all?
Joe, are you referring to the fact that like your nan is like, hang on a minute, the scientists might say this about the vaccine, I know better?
My nan can't even operate a TV remote, so I don't have to worry about that. It's more like the fringe elements of your family you don't like to talk about that you've blocked on Facebook or even just deleted. But no, the film itself is just bloody brilliant. Like, it's David Fincher at the top of his game, Aaron Sorkin with a bloody brilliant script, Jesse Eisenberg playing himself, but that's the only role he could play, is probably Zuckerberg. And then Andrew Garfield again, he's fantastic. And even Justin Timberlake, someone you'd never expect to be, great actor. He's brilliant as that slimy, the fella who owned Napster. I can't remember his name, but no, the film itself is brilliant. Plus the soundtrack from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It's one of the best scores of the last, this century.
Isn't Arnie Hammer in it as well? He's playing the two roles of twins.
The Winklevoss twins, yeah. He plays the two of them.
He's great. I mean, he's great in both roles, but I love him as a performer. So, gents, it's over to you now.
Wait, do you go first, Tim? Then
I'm shocked at the quality that's coming out of the physical. I was expecting movies like Predator, not even the first Predator, maybe Predators, or like a Total Recall or something to come out of that bag.
It did have Alien vs. Predator 2 Requiem, but since that film's so dark and nobody can see it, there's no point in me even picking it.
I
just pitch
didn't
black.
think you got Social Network from Poundland. I'm quite impressed by it.
I literally had to dig to the back of the shelf. I think somebody left it there by accident. Like, I don't think you could actually buy it there.
Why did I get a sense? Because we're recording here a few days before Christmas. Like, Stephen's like, hang on, I might just go to Poundland here for some Christmas presents here. I haven't got Dan any Christmas presents yet. Better get down there now.
He never gets me a Christmas present, Jim, for sake.
Dad, what do we think of these movies?
Okay, my opinion. I actually, before we came on here, I started looking at the Radio Times magazine to see what's on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I gave up because I didn't want to do it. I want to keep kind of be surprised. But the two I picked out for Christmas Day was Something Like It Hot and La La Land. I love Something Like It Hot. It's brilliant. I saw it in was it two-door cinema down in Cumber. I think it was 2 years ago at Christmas. It's a fucking great movie. You're right, Jim. Spot on. So funny. I love La La Land. I know you didn't pick La La Land, but La La Land is great as well. I wasn't a fan of the Transformers at all, but I like Bumblebee. Social Network is a fantastic movie, but I have to go for Something Like It Hot because it's a classic. What would you, Steve?
I would have went with Social Network because I actually think overall it's the best film.
Probably, yeah.
Bumblebee surprised me loads. I really wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
Wasn't it?
But I'm more than happy. Something Like It Hot is also a really good choice, and I actually think it was the riskier choice over La La Land. So I'm thinking we'll go with Something Like It Hot.
Yeah, and it'd be a good Christmas movie to watch. A good laugh, sit on the sofa. Sometimes you don't need to pay attention to it that way. So yeah, Something Like It Hot.
Could be worse. Could have picked The Apartment. There's a joyous film to watch in Christmas with the family. Jack Lemmon. You just can sense like your dad going, Jack Lemmon, he's funny in everything. It's like The Apartment. My guest tried to commit suicide. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Although I love The Apartment, that's all I can say. So is just to clarify, just for our listeners, is that a mark on the kind of column for Christmas TV.
Yes,
It
good
is,
choice,
yeah.
Jim. Good choice.
Although, if I was doing physical media, I was thinking I've pulled out social network and I didn't get the point. Where's this
Humble
gonna go?
Galadia.
I love that.
That was one of
movie.
my like gems that I have in
Yeah,
there.
that was
I'm
the one that you
screwed.
went, this is definitely going to win.
That was the ace. No,
Right, that's all good.
That's-
That's all good. So that's so at the minute physical media has none, streaming has one, Christmas TV has one. So it's a tie, Bill. As I said, it's a marathon.
Right.
It's not a sprint. It's there's still time for it to change. So Boxing Day, this is the day for me when just nothing happens. Pretty much this year has felt like Boxing Day to New Year's Day for me in its entirety, because this is when you just literally do nothing. You consider whether or not you're going to get dressed. Usually boxers and a long t-shirt is usually the appropriate choice. It might have some stains from Quality Street or your Christmas dinner. Who cares? This is when you're just lazy. So, but I don't know, Boxing Day, anybody, any kind of tradition? Normally it's when maybe in the evening I go to the pub with friends, but that's not happening.
Can't do that. Football. It's football day in our house, to be fair. Football from like 11 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So it's, non-stop. You don't leave the sofa. Just football match after football match for like 12 hours.
Yeah, but Dan, I'm a Man United fan, so I just kind of like going, fuck it. You know what? I'll watch Schindler's List or something on Boxing Day instead of watching that.
Something a bit more happier.
Yeah, I'm tired of having my heart broken. I don't want that. But yeah, I just never get the opportunity to watch football. It's usually in our house and it's the volume's turned down and the subtitles are on, and that's the only way I can really watch football, or go upstairs and listen to it in the radio, because I'll just not get peace because people will argue with me if I put the TV on the football.
No, we're all massive football fans, so football is the first thing on most days, to be fair. All weekends football on, so yeah, a bit different in our house.
Okay. Anybody else? Big things that they do on Boxing Day?
No, it really is just a sofa day. Like, you just sit there and then whatever's on the TV, or you just, scar Netflix, or you've got your treasures from Poundland at the ready, It's just one of those days where you just sit and watch stuff all day.
Joe, see if you're sitting, I've just got this mental picture now of you sitting on Boxing Day on your own with maybe a bottle of Baileys and those kind of going, just me and my mates, and just kind of
my mates are the DVDs all surrounding me. I'm pretending I'm talking to like Jesse Eisenberg here and Sylvester Stallone. You don't judge me, You're good enough for me, Sly.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. So that then brings us then. So we've got the TV and what we're going to be going. So this is day 3. Again, slim pickings, couple of ones. I mean, it's Boxing Day is kind of weirdly, when I was younger, it was always a day when my mother especially would have put a lot of musicals on. Usually musicals were on TV and like kind of Meet Me at St. Louis, all that kind of stuff. And I see that today, like BBC One have Grease on. I'm a sucker for Grease. Calamity Jane, I see my lovely wife has already picked that and has told me we are watching that on Boxing Day. I'm not going with her. I'm tempted. I've never seen Home Alone 3. Never seen it.
No.
I could go for that. But the one I'm going with, again, I'm going to go for the comedy vibes. And again, it's always on around Christmas. And as I said at the start, there's always a little bit of me that loves a bit of horror. It's not really horror. It's the best Hammer film Hammer never made. It's 7:30 p.m. ITV3, Carry On Screaming. I fucking love Carry On Screaming. It's genius. And it's that idea of satire. When you're doing something that's like Mel Brooks at his finest, when you look at something and you poke fun at it, you know it inside out, and then you can poke fun at it. And I love Carry On Screaming. So that's 7:30 on ITV3. Bill, come at me, bro.
Let's see what the dice.
What's streaming got?
That is 8, and that is on Amazon Prime. Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Oh, great movie.
Hitting the big guns now.
Okay.
I love that movie.
That lovely wee song by Michael Bolton in it as well. It's like, brilliant.
That's great. No, good
Joe,
choice.
What has
Right.
Poundland got?
I have to have a winner here. I feel like this is the 9 under the shine.
This is it, Joe. This is you.
Yeah, it has to be. But anyway, what do I have? Okay. Something for our whole family. It's not the director's most popular film, but I have a nice soft spot for it. I have Hook.
Oh, yes.
It's pure, it's probably the biggest budget pantomime ever made. But I just love it. Like, Dustin Hoffman's just so fantastic, over the top. And, even Robin Williams, for half of it when he plays the straight man's great. And then the other half, he's just, tapping into his inner child. And Bob Hoskins is great, and Julia Roberts. But, it's a childhood favorite. So Hook's my pick for Boxing Day.
Okay. Judges, over to you.
All right, 3 good choices actually. But Steve, what are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards Hook because I'm a sucker for Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Even in his worst movies, he's always so watchable.
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't say Hook is his worst movie. I think the movie itself it's probably better when I think back on it. It's probably better than what I would originally thought it was. But yeah, I've never actually seen Carry On Screaming. So
Same.
I would have to. Well, then that maybe rules that one out altogether.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
I think Teen Titans is a really interesting choice as well, but I'm leaning towards Hook. What about you?
I think Teen Titans is a fantastic movie. I saw it in the cinema actually twice. Well, I worked in the cinema, so I got free tickets, so it didn't actually cost me anything. But I thought it was great. I laughed so hard at it. I thought it was really good. Messy at the end and all too, but I think you're right. Hook is that nostalgic movie.
I think that Robin Williams factor. I think
kind of brings you all back. It's a movie I didn't like when I was a kid. I hated it, but when I watched it again when I was an adult, because like I associate Peter Pan with the cartoon, with the animated one. When I seen this grown man in tights when I was a kid, I was like, what is going on here? What am I watching?
The hurriest Peter Pan you'll ever see.
Exactly.
Can I just say, right, how have we got through talking about Hook and no one at any point just shouted, Rufio!
Because that's dodgy when you think about his name and the connotations that can come from that word.
Okay. Yep. Bill Cosby knows all about it.
Jeez.
That's Bill Taylor from The Sixth Sense, folks. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Just throw it away allegedly there.
Okay.
Just for the lawmakers.
Yeah,
allegedly.
So are we going into Sunday the 27th here with a tie so far with 1 point for everybody?
Looking like
it. Pretty good.
Yes,
it's a bit like the late toy show. It's a bit like Oprah. You have a point. You have a point.
You have
Points
a point
for everybody. Okay. So Sunday the 27th. We're in the Twilight Zone, right? Genuinely the Twilight Zone, where nothing gets done, nobody goes anywhere. Who needs to talk about lockdown? We've been used to this for years. The 27th, definitely Boxing Day, as I say, to the day after New Year's Day. Nothing happens. So
no one knows what day it is. Is it a Monday? No one cares.
The conversation in our house is normally like, do the bins go out today?
Oh, God.
I don't know what day it is. I don't even know what bin it is. And you're like, oh, fuck it. And then you look out and your bins are just covered. And you're like,
just put all of them out.
Put everything out.
Yeah. Just put it out. No one will care. Bin men will be grand. They'll be grand. And anyway, they come around. If they're coming around that week, they usually come around a bit later because they're lazy bastards that week. And just okay, normally they're about there for 6:30 in the morning. They come like about 9 o'clock. And you're like, all right, okay. At least it didn't wake me up. Anyway, so Sunday the 27th. This, again, for me on this, just going with this was slim pickings, although there's one bona fide classic. I was tempted by Eddie the Evil. No, not Eddie the Evil. I was tempted by Eddie the Eagle on Channel 4. I love that film. I love, Hugh Grant. And it's the guy from Kingsman in the role. Yeah, I love him. But the best one I could really come up with, I was tempted just in the year in 2021 when we're going to have the Schneider cut of Justice League. ITV2 are showing Justice League, and I just want to remind myself what a mess of film, and then have it recorded and then show to all the Snyder Cut fanboys at the end of it going, it's, the Snyder Cut, not going to be that much better. It's going to be an hour and a half or 2 hours longer. It's still going to be shite. But anyway, the one I've went with, and I'm sticking with my horror guns, ITV 1040, The Silence of the Lambs. I fucking love that film. We watched it this year on one of our Twitter watch-alongs. We may or may not bring those back over the lockdown when it comes into place. But I forgot just how much of a great series that is. And plus in 2021, we're going to have Clarice, the new series. We don't know when we're going to get it here in the UK. Though weirdly, I was reading, they can't make any reference whatsoever to Hannibal Lecter at all in the series of Clarice because of the way the rights and stuff have all been bought over the years. But Silence of the Lambs, ITV, beat that streaming, beat that physical media. Come at me, bro. Bill, what you got?
Let's see. Need to rule out again. Done that one. That one. This is falling apart. Oh, here we go. If you're a fan of musicals, This is probably the biggest musical on streaming at the minute. Hamilton on Disney Plus.
I've watched it. It's long.
It's long. It's very good though.
The best way.
It's got memorable songs
long.
like, and
You-
like, I'm
You-
not forgetting.
All I remember is "I'll Be Back." That's it. That's the one I know.
That's
it.
Terminator.
Am I guessing, Bill? You're picking something. Have you watched Hamilton?
I have seen Hamilton, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't picking something. You
I
weren't.
really
going in
enjoyed
blind.
it. I'm a big fan of sort of like history and historical wargaming and stuff, and getting into the American Revolution of 1776. That was fairly interesting to me, how the found fathers and stuff, sort of come and, Declaration of Independence and the whole story of Alexander Hamilton. So yeah, it was very educational for me.
Do you not find it weird watching that kind of stuff, though? And I don't mean Hamilton per se. I always find it weird, like the NT Live stuff, when you're watching a stage play of something.
Yeah, but it's a stage play, but it was filmed like it wasn't a stage play, if you know what I mean. There's no audience, so, the camera is freely moving around and things like that. It's specifically recorded for broadcast. But this is, the musical itself on Broadway, it's the biggest musical ever. If you want cheap seats and you're talking like top of the rafters with a beam in front of you, you're talking excess of $1,000 for that seat.
You say it's bigger than the Book of Mormon?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not being. I just remember.
No, Hamilton is it's the biggest.
Oh, is it?
It's the biggest Broadway
official.
musical ever. This thing's just booked out for
news.
years. Apparently,
Fake news.
Booked
Fake
out
news.
for
I can
years.
still use that until at least the end of January. Fake news. It's Book of Mormon. Anyway, fuck that. But Joe, what have you got? Joe, what have you got?
Well, I know. I think I've lost a ray because you've picked one of my favorite films of all time. But we'll see what the bag has. Oh God! In the year that is 2020, I decided to pick something, light and cheerful to get us through the darker days. It's set 7 years from now. I have went with Alfonso Cuarón's Children of Men.
Ooh.
I thought we're right this stage now. Was it 27th? We'll all be back in lockdown, so the film will have
that'll hit you in the feels.
It'll help you appreciate I could have it worse.
Followed by 28 days later.
12 Years a Slave. All these wonderful gems of film just to pick you right up when you're being knocked down.
Just go for
Finish
Mad
it
Max
off
2.
with the day the clown cried. There we go.
That comedy, everyone.
Okay. Stephen, I haven't seen Hamilton.
Yeah, same.
Bill, sorry. So
It's 3 hours. 3 hours. Well worth it.
I might watch it tonight, actually. Have the time. But it gets advertised on Disney Plus every 5 minutes, so it's kind of annoying. So I haven't watched that there. But I'm the same. I watched Silence of the Lambs during the first lockdown. I actually watched the whole trilogy with Red Dragon and I think
Hannibal.
it's Hannibal, yeah, which they got progressively worse, actually. Hannibal was shocking, but Red Dragon was really good with Ed Norton. But yeah,
Dan, can I ask you, just on that, can I ask you, Dan, have you ever seen Manhunter? The Michael Mann version of Red Dragon?
No, don't think so.
I think I talk about this like with Film Devar. I think I'm on the take for Film Devar. I think I'm on the take for Michael Mann's Manhunter. If you've seen Red Dragon and like it, watch Michael Mann's Manhunter. It's shot back in the 80s. It's Brian Cox, not that one. The other one is playing Hannibal Lecter. And it's fucking superb. I'm looking
That's
behind
a great show.
Yeah.
I can't find my Blu-ray because there was one brought out. He brought out an extended version. I always just say to people when they talk about Red Dragon, because I think for me, that's a director clinging to a book like a wet blanket, and you get Michael Mann coming along with Manhunter. It's very, it's the same book, it's very similar, but it's just such a stylish feature. I would, if you take anything from this podcast recording, seek out Manhunter. I was gutted it's not on, because I know usually it's on around Christmas, but it might have been, it's usually on, like Sky One have showed it a couple of times over lockdown, and I found myself watching it. It's just fucking brilliant. But anyway, I interjected you before you were going to say that Silence of the Lambs was winning. Sorry, that's all I think I cut in, but anyway, I could be wrong.
I do. I watched Silence of the Lambs when I was a kid, when you were really young and stuff, and I always scared me. But I
How
watched
young were you?
Yeah, well, it came out in the 90s, isn't it? So I was born in 93, so whatever. I don't know, Stephen, fuck's sake.
No, I mean, like, were you like 4 watching the Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah,
like, how young were you when you had to watch that movie?
My ma had no filter. Only if like any nudity on screen, she'd be like, cover your eyes. But apart from that, she let us watch whatever we wanted. But I would go for Silence of the Lambs, Stephen. But are you edging towards something else?
See Children of Men. Is this the one where you've got Michael Caine, who's like the hippie dad? I'm just trying to think. Is this the right movie?
Yeah,
it's a good film, actually. It's grim. It's a really, really grim movie. I do remember watching that film and thinking, I think towards the end, whenever all the war's going down and the gunshots, I'm thinking, how are these people not shot to death? Like, they were shooting tanks at buildings and they're all just kind of walking past them. I think this one is the easiest one so far. It has to go with Silence of the Lambs. I think it's up there with one of the greatest sort of movies that have been made. But yeah, I think this is easy for me.
Sorry, guys, I'm just gonna write that down there. It's another one for TV. There we go. So that's
Jim.
TV's doing well.
Don't celebrate like Buffalo Bill. That's all I'm gonna say. We don't need that kind of celebration.
No.
That's why he's sitting down. He's not wearing trousers.
Don't put on the Q Lazarus Goodbye Horses. We don't need that.
Yeah, I think Jay from Jay and Silent Bob did that for everybody, so we don't need to do it anymore. so that's where we are. So we've got our 3. We're now at Monday the 28th. I love how bad it's getting on Monday the 28th. How bad the TV movie choice is on the Radio Times anyway. It's not even a full page; it's a half a page of movies that they've got. I don't have many to choose from. I'm sure there's others available. There's a lot of them are Disney, which is why I didn't pick them, because I knew Disney Plus was an option. Like, I know on Monday 20th they're showing Inside Out at 1:20 on BBC One. I love that film. I genuinely love that film. It made me blub like a fool at the cinema.
Yeah.
Regular listeners of our podcast will know when I went to see it a second time. It was at a press screening. Second time I went to see it. There was a small child sitting near us back in the days when people didn't have to socially distance. And there's a little short played beforehand, and this little girl started to cry, and I was like, oh, wait till you see what she's in for later on. I don't want to talk too much about it because I might cry, but the said unfortunate event happened, and I full on blubbed, and this little girl just gave me her tissue, and that made it worse. And
oh God.
My lovely wife still talks about that, so I'm not going to pick Inside Out. I'm going to pick the film because my boy Tom is back in the news, and I've got his back. I'm going for the first, one of my favourites, Mission Impossible, Brian De Palma, BBC One, 11:30 p.m. Because you know what? If I didn't choose it, Tom would be shouting at me. That's all I'm going to say. So that's what my choice is.
I hear him shouting at you.
Yeah,
I just hear him shouting at you. I'm just.
You know what? He's actually that short. He's actually just beneath your camera. That's where it is. You kind of
Tom, there you are.
Tom, there you are. Yeah.
It's a bit dodgy when you're saying he's just beneath my camera here. What's he doing just beneath your camera?
Scientology stuff. That's all he's doing.
Oh, is that what the kids call it?
Yeah,
He's going clear.
Yeah, he's all good. Can I just on that? I know I haven't even got Bill's choice, but what's all? I had absolutely no problem with him losing the rag.
He was absolutely 100% correct.
Spot on, yeah.
Absolutely. I haven't seen the clip, but what I heard of it, it seemed like he was spot on. But someone told me he was being really aggressive. Like, that's all I heard.
Just shouting, like, you know.
He was, but he's right because, like, it sounds like those people were just fucking dickheads.
Sometimes you just need to shout at people. And it's okay, especially like if someone's your boss. Sometimes you get shouted at, and that's fine.
Well, the film was already shut down because of COVID breaches. So he's probably like, "I'm not fucking doing this again. We need to get this done so we can, keep you all in the job and all that." There, so I think he's justified.
Who do you think would win between Tom Cruise and his rant, or Christian Bale and his rant on Terminator Salvation?
Christian Bale.
Bale was just being a prima donna more than anything.
Yeah,
whereas Cruise was justified. Yeah,
I think I love the Mark Kermode thing when he talks about it. It's like Christian Bale was angry in that film because he knew he was in a piece of shit. Yeah. That was why he was so angry. But yeah,
he still spent the money.
Yeah, he did. So I'm going with my boy Tom. It is. I mean, I absolutely love the first Mission Impossible. I love what they've become. You know, they have evolved and they improved. But I love because it's Brian De Palma. You can't go wrong. And that sequence still when he's trying to get the tapes, and it's the floor. That is tense. That is tense. Still to this day, when I watch that, I find myself kind of tensing up in the seat. But anyway, that's me. Bill, what can streaming do to beat that?
Let's see what streaming can do. Number 3. Oh, that's a good one. It's my favorite Star Wars film on
Rogue One.
It is. It's Rogue One on Disney Plus.
Good one. It's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, what can be in the bag of delights?
Right, what can beat the plans to stop the Death Star? Let me see.
Can I also ask you, Joe, did you spend the full £10 on DVDs, or because it was Poundland and The Place of Dreams, if you had a couple of quid left over, did you just get yourself a load of chocolate?
Not a pound left, so owe you a pound, Jim.
You should have spent it in chocolate, son.
Right, what'll I have? Oh, fuck's sake.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
No. Right. I'm just going to show it. No, I'm Home Alone 3. I'm very sorry, everyone. I was trying to find Home Alone 1 or 2, but
that's never going to be in Poundland. Never going to be.
Yeah. But once I picked Home Alone 3, it did concoct a backstory as to why it's not Kevin in the third one. I like to think that at the point in Home Alone 2 where he starts chucking bricks off the roof, he actually kills them. Because if you threw a brick off a roof, you would kill someone stone cold dead. So the rest of it is all a fever dream, where in reality he's being taken away by the NYPD and he's being shipped away. His ma's still trying to find him then. The only time she'll ever see him again is behind plate glass. So that's why I like to think, 3's a case of a young fella who doesn't learn his lesson from Kevin McAllister, and he should have just gave away whatever, like it's a microchip or something today and bios in it. But it's a piece of shit. It's a piece of...
How Irish are you going in this pod, boyos?
I know, the more I drink, the more Irish I get.
Joe, is 3 a Christmas movie, if I can remember correctly? Is it?
I believe it is, and I think it's one of the first films with Scarlett Johansson as well. She's the young fella's sister in it. So there you go. There's another reason to sort of edge towards why you should pick Home Alone 3 over Mission Impossible and Rogue One, the superior.
Surely she's underage in that.
Aye, but I'm not watching it for that reason, Bill. Like,
you brought it up.
You brought up those reasons. No, I just said it's their first film.
You put those reasons in my head.
Stop sexualizing her.
I ain't touching.
I never said that word.
You
said your word.
I'm not going near that.
All right, so I think.
That's it. Christmas is cancelled. Enough of that.
I'm away to watch Ghost World. Leave me alone.
Still too young, Jim. Questionable. All right. Enough of that.
All right, so apologies, Joe. So we're definitely not going for that one. Okay, so that's shame. I think you knew that when you pulled it out, so you lost that round. I was definitely going to go for Mission Impossible because I think Mission Impossible is one of the best action series ever made. I think it's the only series actually gets better because the last 3 have been unbelievable.
Other than 2, Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, but I mean, like 3, 4, 5, and 6, it just got better and better. Like the stunts they do in their movies, it's ridiculous. But you pulled out Rogue One there, which is probably one of the best new Star Wars movies that have been released since the original. So I think I'm going to guess here, and Stephen's going to go for Rogue One here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think the caliber of movies that would need to be on display from streaming and TV for Home Alone 3 to win. They'd have to be pretty bad. Echo what you say on Mission Impossible. I think the first one really holds up, but Rogue One to me has been the best movie that they've done since the original. I think that movie had a load of problems before it came out as well, but it just worked out really well. So
I think it worked out really well, yeah.
Yeah, I think Rogue One.
Everyone's fantastic. Yeah,
that's begrudgingly. Then I'm doing that. Then so that's another for.
You're close, Jim. I was definitely going to go for that there, but Rogue One came out, so I'm more a massive Star Wars fan, so I had to go for that.
So it's 2-2 to streaming and TV, and 1 for physical media.
So you can't see, but I've actually got here on my painting desk. They're ready to be done next week. K2SO. And
nice.
Cassian Andor, undercoated and pre-inked.
Isn't
for
there
next week?
He's getting his own show, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Isn't there a spin-off? And, everybody, it's going back to the Oprah reference. Like, you get a TV show. You get a TV show.
One of these bad boys to paint next week as well.
Can I...
Nice we ATST.
Can I ask you all, like, it's only a thought I've had just from watching the finale, and I know we touched on it earlier on, but do you not think a little bit, almost in the last couple of episodes, that Mando has kind of got a little bit, apart from the powerful moment that I'll not talk about, he's got a bit sidelined at times in this series with too many new characters. I mean, I love Rosario Dawson popping up. That's a perfect bit of casting earlier on in the series, but I think it felt this series of The Mandalorian feels a bit like Iron Man 2 for me, where it's setting up a lot of stuff and setting the foundations for a lot of spin-offs rather than focusing on the story. I don't know. It's just been my humble opinion. Feel free.
I think every episode that's had a big character, like a Bo-Katan or an Ahsoka or whatever, has really, even Bill Burr. I thought Bill Burr stole the show in his episode.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff when I was thinking about The Mandalorian. I was thinking he's not really doing an awful lot here.
Yeah.
But
what I'm hoping they go, because the template of this has been like sort of like shout out to the old westerns of the 50s and 60s. I hope that we're going to get somewhere down the line of like, Magnificent Seven kind of thing, where they come up against, and we're going to lose some of these guys. It's just the nature of storytelling. Yeah. But, the Mandalorian's just been fantastic. I don't think he's been silent, but I know what you mean.
Probably done purposely, yeah.
I think
it's all part of building that universe.
Yeah.
And they need to keep. I think they need to keep it fresh and build upon what they've done. Because I think that's ultimately what people want to see. They want to see more of that universe in that timeline. We don't really give a shit about Skywalkers anymore, or the rise of the Empire again and all that sort of stuff. No, we want to see day-to-day life, what's going on.
Just on that note, Bill, Joe, I said to Amber last night, particularly when we're watching that finale, when a familiar face, Skywalker, pops back up, a terrible CGI face. I prefer a slow. I remember we talked on Star Wars Day, Bill, about my issues with the first series of Mandalorian. I thought it was a bit slow, but then I really loved it. Mm-hmm. What I loved about the first season of the Mandalorian, there was no real talk of Jedi. It wasn't too much Jedi stuff. And I'm kind of getting a little bit an issue in the same way, kind of like with Rise of Skywalker, where it's kind of, it's given into a lot of kind of it's given a lot of lip service to fans and saying, right, we've got to bring the Jedi back into this. And you're like, no, it was actually kind of better when it was just like an old style Western. That's just me. I don't know. Yeah,
I know what you mean, but I kind of hope that the way that it's going is maybe wee Grogu is sort of leering towards the dark side, because this is the Luke Skywalker wearing black, and he kind of had to go to the dark side to defeat Vader and to beat the dark side. So I'm kind of hoping that the Mando's the only one that can bring him back.
I just hope that I just thought he was just on his way to pick up wee Grogu, on his way to down south, just to self-isolate for a long, long time.
Yeah. I just hope they don't do what Disney did with Groot. And that was like, you see him as a baby, and then all of a sudden he's a teenage Groot. I don't want to see a teenage Grogu. I don't want that. No. I want baby Grogu forever. That's it. Baby Yoda forever. With those wee noises and his wee eyes and his wee ears and his wee hands.
He's going to speak at some point, Bill. He's going to speak at some point.
I don't want him to speak. Don't want him to speak. I like his wee noises. Leave him with his noises.
Here, okay. What day are we on, by the way? Just
we're now on Tuesday.
Life Day.
Life Day.
I'm so confused here.
Tuesday the 29th we're on.
29th, okay, sorry.
No. Dan's like, yeah, I might get to bed at some point, or I might get a wee pint at some point. Okay, so Tuesday the 29th. We're nearly at the end of the year. So Christmas TV listens. Again, as I come back to the point, it's a half a page I've got here to work with. I was tempted. I had done a square originally around Wonder Woman on ITV at 7:30. I enjoyed that film, and I know I've just finished editing our Wonder Woman 1984 spoiler cast. I still like that film, even though throughout that podcast I came up with issue after issue after issue that I had.
I saw it last night, Jim.
Okay, well, other people might not have seen it.
They might not. I'll say this. I fucking hated it. Absolutely fucking hated it. Right until the credit scene.
Oh yeah, the credit scene, that little scene.
That's the only thing I liked about it. That's it.
Okay. We'll do another. We'll just bring you on. Needless to say, you'll agree with Joanne Alexander. She did not like that film at all. So I was tempted by Wonder Woman because I liked it. It was fun. What have I got here? I could just pull out another heavy hitter, but it's at midnight, so it's technically into the 30th. We've already kind of got that issue before with Point
again.
But Point Break is on BBC. Point Break's on BBC One at midnight, so it's there. But for me, Channel 5, 12:10, The Bridge on the River Kwai. If you want a bit of classic war action, just a great fucking film. 12:10, 3:30. If you're not doing anything, what the fuck are you going to be doing? You're in lockdown. That's nothing to do. Sit and watch that. Okay, I know there's ad breaks in Channel 5, but just enjoy the ads. That's all I'm going to say. That's my choice. Bill?
All right.
I'll roll the dice. Here we go. Number 4. It's another classic World War II film on Disney Plus. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, geez.
Such a brilliant, funny film. Goes in all directions. Space, sci-fi, you name it. Absolutely love this. Performances are brilliant. I can't wax lyrical about that film enough. It's Taika Waititi at his best. Like, he really is.
It's going to be tough to beat this one.
Yeah.
Let's see what Poundland has got.
This one is sort of a Christmassy film. It's set around Christmas time, and it's Enemy of the State.
Oh no!
Tony Scott at the height of his brilliance. You got Will Smith. I like to think Gene Hackman in this. It's like the same character from The Conversation, only a bit older, more grizzled.
Jack Black's in it as well.
What's that?
Jack Black's in it.
Yeah, Jack Black.
He's part of his team.
Seth Green.
Seth Green as well. He's the other one.
Jason Lee. He died. Well, spoiler.
He's a cycling accident. We'll say that much. But yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant film. It's like Tony Scott being Tony Scott at his best, It's funny, the story about him, when he describes the difference between him and Ridley. He's like, oh, Ridley does like classical music and I do rock and roll. And that's a pure rock and roll sort of film, It's fantastic. I love it.
Okay. Judges?
I would say, Dan, these 3 films are probably the highest quality that have come out at the same time. There's not one weak link where you kind of go, I can't see that one. To me, Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel films. It's hilarious from start to finish. Even just the new dog, all I need to say is new dog for that movie. It's absolutely hilarious. That's my pick. I mean, Bridge is a great film.
But I was that, I kind of guessed that you were going to go for Thor Ragnarok, and I was going to go for it as well, but until Enemy of the State was pulled out, and that's, me, that's one of my favorite movies ever made. I love Will Smith in that. I think it's probably his best movie he's ever done. But it's hard, because it's a democracy, so go for Thor Ragnarok, because I love that movie and you love it, so go for that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You could have flipped the coin. You could have flipped the coin.
I would
probably lose.
Personally, it'll be Enemy of the State because I love that movie. But again, we'll have to actually decide on one. And I think I do really like Thor Ragnarok, so we'll go for that.
Yeah, go with Thor.
So do I, and I'm really looking for. Is it next year or is it 2022? Now, with the way the release schedule's changing, is we're getting the next Thor.
I love Thunder.
I don't know what way the release strategy have changed. Because Black Widow and stuff's been put back to 2021. I'm really looking forward to that because we mentioned Christian Bale. He's going to be playing the big bad in that film. Yeah. And Taika Waititi, can't go wrong. As much as I love the Bridge and River Kwai, I think I would go for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But let's move on. We're nearly at the end. Dan is nearly almost free to go home or to get off this call and kind of do whatever he wants to do. So we're on Wednesday the 30th.
It's one of them things, like no one talks to me all day, but once I go on a call center, if people call my name, my mum has been texting me, I'm like, oh my God, no one talks to me all day until now. Jesus Christ.
To be popular. My wife's been sitting downstairs watching Strictly, not a peep out of her. She hasn't even texted me like she normally sometimes go say, hope the podcast is going as well. You're like, no, she doesn't care. So Wednesday the 30th. I was talking earlier on about half pages. This is how bad it is with this, where in the Radio Times, we get not even a couple of lines, then the rest of the page is an advertisement. So that's how highly they thought of Wednesday the 30th for the TV listens. But there's a couple of gems. North by Northwest is on BBC Two at 2:50. A film my mum loves. I don't think I've ever seen it, but Shirley Valentine is on at 1:30. I haven't seen it. I think I have. It's kind of over the years I've watched it at the house when it's been on. But I know my wife has got What Women Want. She's got that mark. She wants to watch that. I'm not going to be watching that.
It's not Mel Gibson anymore.
No. But my choice is BBC One, 11:30 p.m. That is definitely in the remit of this. That's correct. That's Wednesday the 30th. BBC One, Highlander. Come at me. What you got?
To be fair, the TV choice so far has been pretty good, Jim.
This is what I keep banging on about every year. It's just I fully accept there's an issue with Christmas TV and physical TV, or with TV, that you have to kind of get round and watch it unless you kind of just set your recorder to record stuff. But Christmas TV is good. It is good because every year my mum complains. She picks this up and she does this. TV looks shit this year, and you're like, really? Is it, Mum? Let's all watch Highlander and BBC One. Let's, the late great Sean Connery as an Egyptian prince from Scotland. What's not to like? There we go, Bill. How are you going to beat Highlander? What are you going to?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's have a look. 5. Oh, Amazon Prime. I saw this in cinema and I absolutely loved it. The Gentleman.
Oh, I guess Hugh Grant, isn't it? Hugh Grant?
It's Hugh Grant again. Hugh Grant plays a blinder in this. Absolute blinder. Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell playing Colin Farrell. You can't ask for much more.
Are you a fan of Hugh Grant, Jim? You keep bringing him up.
Do you know what? I actually am. I think he gets a bit of a harsh rep for Four Weddings and a Funeral, which he's actually brilliant in. He's actually brilliant in Four Weddings and a Funeral, but I think he got typecast for a while. But I think over the last few years, I think he's great in Paddington 2. I wanted to see The Gentleman, but I didn't get a chance. He was in that BBC Scandal series last year. I know my mum absolutely loved it. But the film that turned me round for Hugh Grant and made me love him, it's one of my go-to cinematic chicken soup for the soul films about a boy. I fucking love that film. And I love Hugh Grant in that film. No Man is an Island. Well, I'm fucking Ibiza. I love it. And there we go. We're keeping it Christmas. His father writes a Christmas song that means he never has to work a day in his life. Yeah, why is anyone here not a fan of Hugh Grant?
I love him, but there's a lot of people who don't like him. My girlfriend hates him. Every time if we're trying to pick a movie and he's in it, she's like, no, I'm not watching it. But I heard that a few times. A lot of people either love him or hate him.
I wouldn't say I love him, but I would never get put off, because another film I was going to pick, I forget what it was on early in the week, was Florence Foster Jenkins. I mean, there's Meryl Streep and Hugh Jackman. That's a completely different film. Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant. And Hugh Grant's great in that film again. I think for a little while he got kind of nailed into the rom-com stuff. He's the bad one in Bridget Jones's Diary. That's why everyone hates him, really. My mum loves him in Love Actually. She just loves that sequence where he dances round number 10. I hate that sequence. I don't mind Love Actually. But yeah, I'll always big up you, Grant. Joe, have you got your pick?
No, I haven't. I need to get I want to make sure I'm not cheating here. I could just go for some gold here.
I think next year we're just going to do for you physical media, but nothing but Hugh Grant films.
Right, I have you beat, Jim. I have you beat here.
No,
this is one for the Daz.
Unless it's Highlander 2.
No, it's Basic Instinct. Oh.
Were you
bit of Blue Christmas?
Were you secretly looking and hoping that Showgirls was going to be somewhere in Poundland?
You know what? I'd be lying if I said no. But Paul Verhoeven, erotic thriller. It's just fantastic. It is. It's just so over the top, right? That's why it's just so brilliant.
See beyond the dirtiness. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm actually. Who mentioned dirtiness here? Excuse me.
If I remember correctly from the podcast last year, do you not watch it on New Year's Eve, Jim?
I watched Basic Instinct. Would it be last year before, with my lovely wife? Because one thing I realized tonight, or when I was looking through this year, BBC or ITV, because normally someone puts a decent film on like after midnight. When you're normally sitting up, you've had far too much gin, and you're like, "Fuck it, I don't want to go to bed. I'll just watch this." And it was the first year my lovely wife and I were living together, and Basic Instinct was on. I think it was on ITV. I can't remember. It might have been BBC. I don't know. And probably Channel 5. Let's be honest, that's a Channel 5 choice. And she's like, "I had never seen it," and she had been going through. She's kind of obsessed with the 50 Shades stuff, and I was like, I remember this being a bit dirt when I was younger, and we put it on, and her exact phrase was about half an hour into it, "Is this it? Is that it?" Like that iconic scene where every young boy in the world ever wore out their VHS player. They're, kind of like going pausing it at the right minute, and she kind of went, "Is that it?" And I was like, "Yes, that's it." But it's
That's it.
I've just been so desensitized now, Jim. They don't appreciate that worn down pause button anymore.
I know. I have a vivid memory many years ago of a no, I wouldn't say, I was going to say a house party, but a sleepover with me and 4 friends, and we had a copy of Basic Instinct and trying frantically to freeze frame it at the right.
But you've taped Aladdin over, like you've a piece of tape saying Aladdin on it, so your dad doesn't get confused.
Yeah, I like Basic Instinct. It's a lot of fun. I actually, not to go kind of full kind of disciple of Kermode, I have a lot of love for the sequel as well. It's terrible. Stan Collymore pops up at the very start. He doesn't. If you're a Stan Collymore fan,
well, he does pop up.
Yeah, he does pop up. But if you're a fan of Stan Collymore, I don't know if there's that many, but if you're tuning into Basic Instinct 2 just for that, don't expect to see him in the film for very long. But Basic Instinct 2, it's silly and overblown. It's overcooked, but yeah. If I wasn't picking these, if I was back in my judging, I'd be like, "Fuck you, Jim. I know your choice. Basic Instinct, get it on."
Yeah. That's right. I watched Gone Girl with my girlfriend recently, and when I was watching, I was like, "Holy frig! I don't think this film would have been made if Basic Instinct didn't happen." Because it's one of those films where it's just so over the top and sort of sexually charged as well. I think it's quite influential as well, and that's why it should win this round.
Without a doubt. I mean, I'm trying to look. I've got a book by Linda Ruth Williams, Mark Kermode's wife, and she talks about it in detail and champion it and kind of its influence on erotic cinema. But fuck that, all that shit. Vote for me.
Before we go, what was the streaming movie?
The Gentleman.
I don't know. Sorry, totally forgot there. Jesus.
You got lost. All Dan was thinking about was Basic Instinct.
That's all I was thinking about. I remember the first time I watched it. I watched it for the wrong reasons. So let's leave it there.
I don't know. Just listening to this conversation, it's occurred to me that my dad isn't as big of a fan of Aladdin as I thought he was. I haven't actually seen Gentleman, so I don't. Obviously, we can't go with that one. To me, Basic Instinct, I think he's fought the good fight there. He's sort of hit every point that I would try to hit if I was trying to put that movie above Highlander.
No, hang on a minute, Stephen. I fought the good fight for him.
Excuse me. I had to look like a pervert buying that in Poundland. Come on.
So perverted to bought 2 copies just to make sure it works.
It's like, why is he buying Home Alone 3 and Basic Instinct at the same time?
What I like to think is he bought 8 and was like, "Oh fuck, I've got to go back and get another one," and it was Basic Instinct. That's what I like.
Oh, you bought 2 copies of them.
Okay, so there's we go. There's 2, so it's close. We've only 2 days left. I think Bill could win this. We could all win it. I think Bill, you're in the lead by 1 at my.
There's no losers here, Jim.
No losers.
Will you be saying that next year when you're the winner 2 years running? Okay. So New Year's Eve, we're back, peeps, to a full page. I think full page. No, we've just got 1 page. We have a full page on the Radio Times here. New Year's Eve. What are your plans this year? For rock and roll. I'm going to be going to the pub, maybe a nice meal somewhere, maybe the cinema. Oh fuck! No, I can't do that.
No, you're not.
I'm going to watch Basic Instinct on the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the plan.
Is that one scene on loop?
Oh, God.
I know. That's what it
Might
is.
as well just get a GIF.
Scene, just pause it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Just pause it and sit back and
No,
have a
you
cigarette.
need her leg movement. You need that leg
I
movement.
need the gift going backwards and forwards.
No, you can't just have that
Constantly.
open leg scene.
Do you know what, though? In all honesty, as much as I love Basic Instinct, that film has been ruined by National Lampoon's Fully Loaded. And the way they take the piss out of that, and it's gratuitous beaver shot. And every time I watch Basic Instinct, okay, once a week after Showgirls, that's all I can say. I think of that scene.
Did you watch that documentary about the cats not that long ago?
Oh,
That's
look at man, yeah.
Yeah,
His favourite film.
I think he's kind of ruined Basic Instinct for me.
Oh, he made it better. He's added an extra layer of interest in it.
I'm lost in this conversation, so I'm intrigued.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I wouldn't want to spoil that documentary. That documentary's crazy.
Yeah.
Great, that documentary. Yeah,
Was
Netflix.
fantastic.
Don't fuck with cats, isn't it called?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm completely with you now. Yeah. I have watched that. I didn't enjoy that. You know,
Yeah,
that was weird though. I
it's
didn't
not
enjoy
enjoyable.
like, the first episode when it was
Not
dealing
enjoyable.
primarily with the kind of the stuff, the animal cruelty stuff. Once it kind of got to kind of catching him, then
Yeah.
it was a
I
lot-
was weirded out as much about him as I was about the people that were almost stalking him to find him. I didn't know who the bad guy was. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Because the thing is, because I know Joe hosts with Therese the crime scene to screen. We've just had their Christmas special released. I can't really. I've had my fill of serial killer stuff because I know, isn't it, Ripper has just come up on Netflix, and my lovely wife is like, "Oh, we'll watch that over Christmas," and you're like, "No, let's fucking not watch that over Christmas." They just depress me too much. They really do.
Yeah.
The peak for me was it Days early this year with David Tennant.
Aye.
And he was amazing in it, and it was terrifying. But I just came out of that just going, I just need the Muppets Christmas Carol now. I need the Muppets anything, Muppet Schindler's List, something. I need just to kind of try and cheer me up. I can't. The serial killer stuff. That's why kind of purposely I've stayed away from Joe and There's stuff because it takes me to dark places. Okay, saying that, I've enjoyed Basic Instinct because it's got a serial killer, but it's got tits and ass. That's different. But
And ice picks.
yeah, and ice
Yeah,
picks.
that's a brilliant idea. Fucking Muppet Schindler's
Yeah.
List. Just casing
no.
out the black and white. It's just Elmo in red.
Oh,
Just out there.
Red balloon.
Brilliant. Genius. Genius.
Fozzie Bear with the rifle at the window like that.
Waka waka.
Bill, I can't claim it, and anyone who's listened to our episode on The Rock, which we recorded after the passing of Sir Sean Connery, will know it technically comes from Ricky Gervais. He's made that joke. But we were kind of, because we actually said it along the time, if I recall, we'd love to see the Muppets remake The Rock. That's what we want to see, or all that kind of stuff. But Muppets Schindler's List is a Ricky Gervais joke. I would love to take the credit for it. Fuck it, I will for this podcast.
Go
But
for it.
it's all Ricky Gervais. So
He has too much money. Go for it.
So we still haven't got to my pick. So it's New Year's Eve. I think we were kind of chatting just generally. Anybody even remotely making any plans this year? Are you just gonna? Is anyone gonna even sit up to 12 o'clock this year, or just gonna go to bed?
No, fuck the hootenanny.
No.
Jules Holland can go to hell.
Oh, Joe Holland pre-recorded. You lied to me. You've been lying to me my whole life.
It'll be a repeat this year.
How much? Were all of you kind of shocked whenever you realized? Because I think it used to be live. And I can't remember. There was someone. I'm going to say Johnny Vegas, but I don't think it was Johnny Vegas. Someone got very, very pissed and made an absolute dick out of themselves on live TV, and that's why they now do it as a pre-record, so they can edit through anything controversial that someone might say. But I remember it was only like maybe about 3-4 years ago. Someone said, "No, that's not live." We were like,
It was your podcast that ruined for me. You told me.
mind blown. Did it? Bam.
Yeah.
Get one. I was gutted. But anyway, so New Year's Eve, we're all going to go to bed early. What's my pick? Is it a socially acceptable time? I was tempted by Paddington. I've already mentioned Paddington 2, but I'm not going to go for that. A Few Good Men I could go for on 5-star, 9 o'clock, great film.
Great movie.
I was tempted by The Poseidon Adventure at 3:20 on ITV4. The original, not the shit remake. Although Richard Dreyfuss is in the remake and I quite like him in it. I'm just going to be honest here. And I know this film, people do love it. And some people have their criticisms of it. I think it's just ITV's go-to on New Year's Eve. but fuck it, I'm going for it. We should have had a Bond film this year. We should have had Daniel Craig's final outing. For me, I'm going to say this is his finest. Skyfall, ITV, 9 o'clock. I adore that film pretty much from start to finish. And I just love, when the end, when that look of pure anger when someone destroys Bond's Aston Martin and the revenge that he dishes out in that feature. That's my pick. That's Skyfall. That's what I'm going with. Bill, what have you got?
I've never seen it. So that's what the dice say. Hey! Nothing says New Year's or Christmas better than Angela Lansbury and Nazis. Bed knobs and broomsticks.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That is a good choice, Bill.
I love that film. It's just lovely musical bits, but it's definitely the beating the Nazis is just
does it for you?
Does it for me every time.
Let's see what
the
the
Thailand have.
There's two left, and I can't even remember what they are. So let's see. Oh, Jim, it looks like I'm fighting Bond with Bond here. I picked what was my favorite Bond film as a child, but even now I realize it's a bit dodgy. Like, You Only Live Twice.
Oh. Why do Chinese girls taste different? No, Bond, we can't say that.
No, it's not that. It's the fact he makes himself look Japanese, yet in the end, he didn't need to do it because it doesn't feed into the plot whatsoever. So you're like, why did you do that? But other than that, you've got the big volcano there, you've got Donald Pleasance as Blofeld. It's quintessential Bond, and I absolutely loved it as a child. And I still actually do like it quite a bit. I think it's one of Connery's best.
With reservations. That's always my get out of jail card. I like it with reservations.
Yes, that, like I said, it is a bit dodgy looking back, but, Roald Dahl wrote it, so, he is a bit of a dodgy lad with his weird children's stories. We'll just say that. And
all the stuff recently about him as well, kind of coming out and resurfacing.
What'd he do?
Yeah, there's been a bit of anti-Semitism from Roald Dahl.
Jews, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I've already lost that one, so let's move on to New Year's Day.
Okay, what have we got, gentlemen? What are we going to go with here?
Well, I think Skyfall. I don't think we can look past Skyfall.
We can't. It's weird because I didn't like Skyfall in the cinema. I fell asleep watching it. I thought it turned into Home Alone at the end, if I remember correctly. They start doing like wee traps in the house. So that's kind of Christmassy then. It's kind of
Hang on a minute, Dan. You're saying like that's like a bad thing. It goes a bit Home Alone. He sets traps. What the heck? Like,
sorry. Was it a bad thing? Sorry.
They did that in the last Rambo film. Okay, the film was a bit shit, but that's probably the bit where everyone kind of was like, okay, I kind of semi-enjoyed that bit. They should have had the Home Alone. Grant, I don't know if any of you seen. I think it was Joe. You told me about this. The sequence you're talking about, where they do the Home Alone kind of prep music for when Kevin's getting ready for the wet bandits coming into the house, but they do that music over Skyfall.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can find
I saw that. That's cracker.
But Jim, stop arguing with them. You're winning.
See for that, Jim. We're not picking Skyfall.
Do you know what? Okay, as angry as I'll be, because I think if Bill wins this, he wins it for streaming. But
I think Skyfall does win it, to be fair. But I never like, as I said, never like Skyfall. I used to like Spectre, the one afterwards. Then I watched Spectre again and realized how shit it was. So maybe my opinion's wrong with Skyfall. So maybe Skyfall's good.
I think what we've determined is every time you watch a film, you have no idea if you like it or don't. And if you do like it, you probably don't like it. But if you don't like it, you probably do like it.
What is it you don't like about Spectre? I do think
I like Spectre.
I like Spectre. I like it because it feels like it's the phrase that kind of Joe says. It's kind of quintessential 007. There's so many calls back to stuff like From Russia with Love. I think there's an issue in the fact that it kind of suffers the same kind of problem that Quantum of Solace had. It tries to be a follow-on to a previous film, and I don't think Bond should ever really do that. Bond, each outing should be standalone. Quantum of Solace tried to be like an epilogue or an ending to Casino Royale, which is fucking brilliant. Yeah. And Skyfall is great, but then, we have Spectre. I think a lot of people got angry about Spectre, but the whole fact is like, is Christoph Waltz going to be the big bad we all know he is? Is he going to be Blofeld? No, he's not. Yeah, he is. He's going to be Blofeld. We're pretty certain he's going to be Blofeld. No, he's not. It's like, he's going to be Blofeld. Yeah. And then in the film, it's like, I'm actually Blofeld. You're like, no, I don't care.
That scene where he's like torturing James Bond, and he says like, "Well, this is going to mess up your coordination, your movement, and all too," and he tortures him. And then James Bond gets off it and walks fine. And it's like, all right, so what was the point you talking about? How your movement's going to be all like, your balance is going to be off, but then it doesn't affect it. I remember just seeing things like that there, going, "There's so many holes in this movie," but I loved it in the cinema. But it's like, I think looking back on it now, I'm probably watching pitch meeting for it. Kind of ruined it for me.
I think I didn't like for now with Spectre, going back to the one thing I didn't like about Spectre was the theme tune with Sam Smith. I didn't like. I've never at all.
Dull as hell.
Do you know what? I've kind of warmed to the one for the Bond film we were meant to get this year.
Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah, No Time to Die.
I've warmed.
That's the cracker song.
That is really warm. I've really love it. But anyway, so what have we got? I mean, I'm going to be honest here. As much as I know as it would kind of almost throw will throw victory to streaming, I fucking love Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
It's great. Yeah.
No, it is good. Like, but I love James Bond. I love Daniel Craig, even though I don't think he's the best James Bond. Pierce Brosnan's mine, but I do think Skyfall just tips it.
But yeah, you're right to throw a wee bit of love to Bed Knobs. I think it's a great film, but to me, Skyfall has to win this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking. I think Bill, by my choice. I think what's that? We've got. I think it's going into this with a tie so far. If I've got this right in my hand, I've got 3 for streaming, 3 for TV, and 2 for physical media. So it could end up being a fatal 3-way tie. Joe, you're gonna. Tie. I just seen the look on Joe's face there. It's like kind of going, what have I got left in my bag of tricks?
I actually don't know, so that actually makes it a bit more interesting.
Okay, so New Year's Day. so New Year's Day, it's 2021. We can all say thank fuck 2020 is gone. Sadly, we'll probably be the inevitability that COVID isn't away. It hasn't went away it won't be gone for quite a while yet, sadly. I have a couple of films here that I've looked at. It's a full day again, full listings on New Year's Day. Is it actually we have not 1 but 2 pages of TV to choose from. A couple of ones I've kind of marked here that I love again in the evening. It's at 9:45, so that does count in the evening on Talking Pictures TV, which is such an underrated Freeview channel. If you haven't watched Talking Pictures,
classics.
There is a lot of classics, and they've got one here, Witchfinder General. I fucking love. I forgot. I'm not sure. Is Paramount Network? Because I know Freeview channels change constantly. 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. I love. I was tempted by Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's going to be on BBC. That's going to be on Disney Plus. What have I got picked here? I'll be honest, right? I had originally picked for my choice Mr. Holmes on BBC Two at 6:20. It's Ian McKellen playing an aging Sherlock Holmes who's kind of slowly slipping into dementia. It's a brilliant film, but I've really thought about this as I've been talking throughout the pod, kind of going, it's not the best film. If that's going to be the first film you're going to watch in 2021, you want to watch something that's going to make you smile. So I've just said, fuck it, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I probably won't win, but I'm going to go with The Boss Baby on BBC One. Alec Baldwin voicing an infant man, baby man. Have any of you seen the trailer for the new one where they're older? They come back and they're older, and then they use some weird serum to just kind of like conveniently turn them back into their younger selves. I love The Boss Baby. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. I had a ball watching it in the cinema, and I'm just kind of going, you know what? I want to watch the first film I'll probably watch on 2021. I want to have a smile on my face, so I'm going to watch The Boss Baby. Bill, what about you?
Well, yeah, my last one by random is on Amazon Prime, and it is by one of the top action stars around, The Meg. It don't get much bigger than The Meg. Come on, it's like Jaws with like 20
bigger.
Jaws.
Can I just say, how excited are you the fact that Ben Wheatley's doing Megs or Meg 2? I don't know what it's going to be called.
Too Meg, Too Furious.
Yeah. Ben Wheatley's going to be directing that. I mean, he might still walk away. I mean, we know we have his COVID horror film that is coming out, I think, in March. I know it's premiering at Sundance. And I know he's doing the next Tomb Raider film as well. I am excited about Ben Wheatley, Mr. kind of left field, underrated by some British horror director. Maybe he's going to go a bit too mainstream with the Meg, but Ben Wheatley, a big shark, and Jason
Kill List was shit.
Shut up, Bill. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong.
It was shit.
Oh, no,
It had no sense. Bullshit.
Kill List is superb. Never has a film terrified me more.
No.
Watching it late night on TV at my parents' house when I don't know where they were. I mean, I think it might have been a time when my dad was in hospital and mum was up visiting for the night, and I watched Kill List on my own. And that ending, there's a sequence near the end involving tunnels and people running through tunnels, and the sound design in that sequence scared the shite out of me. That Kill List is not a film I want to start with on 2021. I don't want to start that. It's just wonderful and weird. If you like stuff like The Wicker Man, you'll like Kill List. Bill's entitled to his opinion, but he's wrong. Joe,
Right.
what have we got?
Right. What's in the bag of delights?
Kill List.
Imagine.
It's Kill List 2, actually. No. It's actually quite a nice one. We've seen it last year for the first time with a screening by BanterFlix. Went with my girlfriend to see it. When Harry Met Sally.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Stonewall classic. One of the best scripts ever written, I think. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan's perfect chemistry in it. It's hilarious. It's got a lot of heart. And it actually ends on New Year's Eve. So, there you go. It's the happy end in New Year's and into New Year, which will hopefully be, well, it can't be any worse than this year. So it'll hopefully be a happier year.
You have
for
to
all.
say it.
You have no idea.
Oh.
Look, I've jinxed it.
I
We all know it's
Fucking
going to...
killed it now.
I don't even think if I edited that out.
Jim,
And
edit it out.
I think it's been said, China are listening and they're like, they think it will be better next year. Released COVID 2.
No, they don't have to do that because Bill Gates has already got the stuff in the fucking vaccines, the microchips. He's just going to set them to kill, and then we're all just going to kill each other in a huge.
Can I just say, do all of you watch? I know Bill does, and I think you do as well, Joe. Do all of you watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Haven't seen the new series.
Anytime anyone starts talking about the vaccine and the possible side effects, the vaccine, I just automatically think of the episode when it's they Cronenberg.
Cronenbergs. Yeah.
They turn everyone into Cronenbergs. That's what I think is going to happen in 2021 when everyone gets the second dose of the vaccine. But Joe, you have picked. Sorry, this is me kind of going against myself as a judge. You have picked probably one of my favorite films of all time, and a film I probably, if my wife won't let me watch Skyfall, I'll probably be watching on New Year's Eve because I just love that speech by Billy Crystal at the end of that film. We're talking at the start of this about It's a Wonderful Life making me cry. That sequence in When Harry Met Sally makes me cry. Anyway, that's me defending the enemy because I'm such a nice person. Gents, it's the first film of 2021. What are we going to be watching?
Stephen, I think I'm not going to go for the Meg. Sorry. I can't go for the Meg. I think it's probably it's up there with one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I've never been close to walking out of cinema. But my girlfriend got up at one point to walk out of cinema, and it was free. We got it for free, and she was about to walk out. That's how bad it was. And I was like, "No, it's free. We got to sit and watch it."
Can I ask?
Stephen have disagree.
Can I ask what was so bad about the Meg that you wanted to walk out of it?
I didn't really. I don't want to walk out of any movie, but it was just so shite. It was like a movie filled with one-liners, but the one-liners lasted like the whole movie.
But
I know exactly, but still, you need to be a bit of a good dialogue between someone.
You have Jason Statham going, "That's a megalodon."
Right. So Dan, you know my opinion on the Meg. I love the Meg. I absolutely love it. And I think people who criticize it, well, fair enough. I mean, I can understand, but if you're expecting Jaws, then you're always going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Like for me, that was a movie that you just literally switch off completely, accept that this is going to be shit, this is going to be cheesy, and just laugh. He punches a shark. Like, I mean, what? Like, for me, when I go to the cinema, yes, sometimes I want to see my Oscar award-winning movies, but sometimes I just want to sit there and just go, I'm glad that they're still making movies like this, and this is still good into the cinema. Like, I love the Meg, and I'll defend it to hell.
I have a lot of love for it, because funny, in the first lockdown, I don't know why it came about, but my wife and I, for like a week, maybe slightly longer, we watched nothing but shark movies. And the Meg was one of the first one that we picked. And it's fun. I agree with you. I mean, it's flawed. I didn't expect it to be anywhere near as good as Jaws, but then to go full Kermode, Jaws isn't really about the shark. The Meg, sadly, is about the megalodon. But
it's a megalodon.
It's no Deep Blue Sea, I'll give you that. Like.
Yeah, it's not as fun as Deep Blue Sea. I didn't even know until this year there was a Deep Blue Sea 2, let alone a Deep Blue Sea 3. I haven't seen 2 or 3, but I was definitely tempted to watch them. But no, I don't mind the Meg. It's not. There's worse films out there. It's not a film when I watched I felt at any point I'm going to leave. It's not like The Hunt, which I fucking hated, and to this day will be the last film I ever get to see unless.
Wait a minute, is that one that's on Amazon at the minute? The Hunt, with your woman from Glow in it.
Yeah,
it's like the deadliest game, but it's not good.
It's like did Jean-Claude Van Damme make one of them in the fucking 80s?
Well, the thing about The Hunt is, right, you're thinking, I can't remember the name of the Jean-Claude Van Damme film. I just remember, isn't it like man is the deadliest prey or something like that? But The Hunt I just hated because I like the idea behind it, and the people that are involved should be able to do better because they were some of the people that were involved in Watchmen, the TV series. I know Joe just loves and will wax lyrical about at any opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with that, Joe.
I like the idea of kind of, we always kind of see, you know, the right wing Trumpists being the villain, but here we have like the liberal left almost being the villains in a way, and it's just nowhere near as good as it should be, particularly when you've got Hilary Swank. I think is fucking brilliant in pretty much anything she does, and it was just a pile of shite, and that's the last film I'll ever get to see at the Dublin Road Cinema at a press screening. I didn't pay for it, and I just came out of it exceedingly angry. That's a film you want to walk out from, not The Meg. But anyway, that's
because this is the Christmas episode, and the only Christmas movie we've had on it is Home Alone 3.
We mentioned Jingle.
Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State takes place at Christmas.
So it does. Sorry to get back to you.
And there's snow in Cliffhanger. There is snow in
Ragnarok. It's actually space Christmas.
Wait, Hook as well. Hook takes place at Christmas. Remember, they're going home to England for Christmas, and then the children get kidnapped.
When Harry Met Sally has Christmas. We mentioned Jingle All the Way. We mentioned It's a Wonderful Life.
I mentioned, there's no show. I was expecting like Trading Places, Scrooge, Die Hard or some shit. Nothing like this.
They just weren't on the TV. I thought that I could find. That's all I can go with. Other guys have all the pressure.
They're not on the streaming because you can pay for them.
No.
Yeah, they're all rentals.
Die Hard.
Do you not think as well? Do you think you kind of, for me, in the lead up to Christmas, I kind of exhaust Elf and Scrooge and what have you, and then when Christmas comes, and then the week, sort of that weird week in between, I do start watching just normal films rather than
blockbusters. You know,
on the 27th of December, I'm not watching the Elf.
Well,
you know,
my wife and I, we have kept 2 Christmas movies. We are going to have 2 Christmas movies, and we have the Father Ted Christmas special as what we're keeping for Christmas Eve, because it's going to just be us at the house. And normally I do the present run, the parcel run, on Christmas Eve for my mum and dad. I'm not doing that this year because of social distancing, so we're just going to sit in the house and watch it. And we've picked Die Hard and Elf. We haven't watched it up until now. We've been watching a lot of shit Christmas movies. There's been good ones as well, like we've got the odd gem, like Trading Places, my lovely wife had never seen, and waiting for me at that key point in Trading Places just to kind of cheer and go, there they are, Jamie, and just lose all credibility in the Me Too.
You're an animal.
I know. I try my best so much to kind of say that I'm a modern man and this, that, and other, particularly in hindsight when we think about the kind of conversation in Wonder Woman 1984 about bisexual and LGBT representation, and then I just kind of go another hand and just going to go, yes!
I recently watched Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, Bill,
no,
Bill, it's terrible.
She's there in a bikini.
Oh, she's there in a terrible, but she's there in a bikini, but it's a terrible.
It's weird because Dan Aykroyd is like the neighbor in it, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
that's
like
right.
Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm like, oh Jesus,
and
you've come
Dan Aykroyd,
so far away.
Dan Aykroyd, Mr. Canada, playing this ultra kind of American guy, and you're just like, no, it didn't work. What else we watched? We watched the Kirsten Stewart LGBT. I can never remember the name of the film. I liked it more than I thought I would. The LGBT Christmas one with Kirsten Stewart and Aubrey Plaza. I enjoyed it. It's not Freeview. It's not on a streaming service. We had to pay to rent it. What else have we watched? We watched 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn. Oh, that's an hour and a half I'm not getting back.
I love that movie.
Put that with you. You can watch that, Dan, and jingle all the way to your heart.
I watched on Christmas Day actually last year. Everyone went to bed early, and I tried to watch the EastEnders, and I was like, "It was shite." And then Christmas
That's why you loved it. It's a step up.
I'm just picturing you, Dan. We were talking earlier on about Joe, just you sitting there with a wee Christmas hat, just sitting watching Four Christmases and a Baileys for some reason. Just kind of, this is great. This is good. No.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else we've watched. Have any else been kind of purposely watching? Well, actually, because my wife actually she'd never seen Scrooged before, and she hates A Christmas Carol, and she loved Scrooged. Although tomorrow we're going to the cinema to see A Muppet's Christmas Carol. Our generations, I can't steal that line. That's Neil Sedgwick from Films and Faith. Our generations, It's a Wonderful Life.
I've been watching like a lot of Christmas horror. Like as you know, Jim, like me and Trez did the episode of Crime Scene, The Scream. We watched Silent Night, Deadly Night, and it's not good. You know, the 80s slasher where a fella, you know, with repressed, you know, psychological issues relating to Santa Claus, dresses up as Santa Claus when he hits 18 at Christmas and kills everyone in Christmas-related fashion. Like he stabs a woman to death with antlers. He chops off a fella's head as he's slaying down a hill. It's just it's quintessential like slasher 80s, but it's just not very good. Then there was like, I watched The Last Drive-In on Shudder, and they had their Christmas special, and one of the films they showed was a French version of Home Alone. It's called Dial a Code for Christmas or something like that. It's got different names across the world, but it's basically this fella who's a bit of like a non-Santa who gets in this little boy's house and he's trying to get him. But the wee boy is basically Macaulay Culkin on steroids in that he is trying to kill him in like the most gruesome fashion possible. Like he sets him on fire and everything. But it's actually surprisingly entertaining. And then Christmas Evil, which is another killer Santa film. I just thought I'd go through like all the killer Santa films. I just had a weird notion to go from.
I'm trying to convince my lovely wife to watch the original Black Christmas this year.
Oh, watch that too. It's great.
She saw the trailer for it and was freaked out by the phone calls. It's fucking brilliant. If everyone, I bang on about this. Everyone goes on about Halloween. Black Christmas is amazing. It was 2 years before. Even John Carpenter has admitted that it was a reference tool for him. On that note, last night we threw on the latest version of Black Christmas, and I got a staggering 3 minutes into it when it suddenly started talking about magic and Satanists, magic and cults. You're like, I'm out. This has fuck all to do with the original Black Christmas. I'm gone. Jason Blum, everyone talks about you being great for the horror genre. Fuck right off. Anyway, that's that. Have we even picked our movie? I think
not just yet.
No, we haven't even got a winner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think your choice was Boss Baby.
Just for something fun. If I was going to, like the other one I'm looking at here, BBC One, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is on, but I don't want to start 2021 with having that Bryan Adams song stuck in my head till at least March. You know what? I'm just going with Boss Baby just because...
It was number one longer than COVID.
Yeah. I'm just going for Boss Baby because it makes me smile. That's it.
I can
it
imagine,
makes me laugh.
Yeah, well, Boss Baby, like, I can imagine that being pitched to the studio and they said, this is what we're going to do. And they're like, nah. Then they just went, I like Baldwin's going to play the baby. Green light, go ahead.
And then,
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Someone just says, you've done it again, Howard.
Yeah.
Money bags.
And that's it. I think
it'd be fun for a three-way tie. To be fair, like all three of them getting three points. But I do love when Harry Met Sally. To be fair, I love Boss Baby, but I think when Harry Met
so the other choice
Sally
was the Meg, wasn't it? I think obviously I would probably would have went for the Meg, but I think how Billy Crystal has that sort of Robin Williams effect on me as well. It's like no matter what he's in, he just steals the whole show. Like you can just watch him, even if the movie's terrible. There's something about him. So yeah.
Have you ever seen the sequence in When Harry Met Sally, and it's Billy Crystal is going off? I think they're at the museum, and it's a very. I remember. I think it was an interview with Nora Ephron. I remember reading about it. She was on set that day, and Meg Ryan was kind of listening to everything, and she just could not keep a straight face. And there's a sequence where they couldn't cut around it. She just looks round, and you can see her kind of looking to the director, Rob Reiner, and Nora Ephron just to say, just keep going, and she kind of turns back. He's because he just went off script. Billy Crystal, I think, used very little of Nora Ephron's material. Meg Ryan used a lot of it. And you've also got that scene in that diner that brings a smile to my face every time. Not for a sleazy reason, it just makes me laugh. No, it just got on in relation to my last appearance, when on my last conversation when I was talking about Jamie Lee, and Trading Places. That sequence is great. I'm happy for a three-way tie.
I think you've sold this movie for your own.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jim. Cheers.
It's so diplomatic of you, though. It's like kind of going, everybody wins in a way.
Yeah, socialism. That's what it is.
Yeah, I prefer to go for like the Ricky Bobby kind of approach. If you ain't first, you're last. That kind of thing. So we're all losers here. So there we go. A three-way tie. Here's the thing, right? I'm just going to throw out to Bill, Joe, and I'll throw to myself. Of all the things you've picked, what would be the one thing you would say of everything you've got in your list that you would say, okay, regardless of the tie, watch it?
Rogue One.
Think about that a little bit longer, Bill.
No, Rogue One, definitely, all day, every day. And then watch The Mandalorian, all seasons, just right the way through. And then Rogue One again.
Right, Joe?
Oh, well, I have to go with When Harry Met Sally. It's an absolute classic. It's got a bit of everything for everyone, so can't really beat it.
Okay. When I've finished borrowing your Basic Instinct DVD, what I will watch, I'm going to be honest, Highlander. I'll either Highlander or Bridge the Bridge in the River Kwai, but Highlander probably just with Sean Connery. I'd weirdly rewatched 1 and 2 just kind of a few months ago before he passed away. Otherwise, I would have watched them, but I think the fact that it's on BBC gives me an opportunity. And Highlander 2, if you watch the Renegade cut, it isn't as keek as the original cut, although it's still a mess of a film. They just kind of try their best to cut around any mention of the fact that the Highlanders are aliens. That's it. Could be worse. Could be Highlander 3, The Sorcerer. Oof, there's a shit film. But
there's a question I asked Stephen on our last podcast about, like, what is your favorite non-Christmas movie? So a movie that has nothing to do with Christmas, but you watch it every year. I think you guys have that sort of movie.
I've talked about this kind of like the idea of like a festive favorite, something that you'll just find yourself watching. I don't know if I have a favorite, because it's weird. It's if I'm home over Christmas at my parents' house, there's only so much, unless I go upstairs and watch something on Netflix, there's only so much my mother will watch. I would probably actually say something like Skyfall. It's always on around that time, and I'll always find myself watching. Or a Bond film will be something that we'll watch. I know this because this year Amber and I made like a little list of our Christmas movies, the crap ones, the good ones that we were keeping the closer to time. And then we had our wild cards, just had no relation. We just wanted to watch it. Hers was, she had 2, actually. I had 2. Mine was Old School, which I just love. I don't know why I picked it. I think there was something came up and we were talking about it, and it's just like,
you're my boy Blue.
Yeah, I just like, let's watch Old School. And hers is actually one of 2. Actually, she came up with was Beaches and Jack and Sarah, which I haven't watched in a long time, but I fucking love Jack and Sarah. Richard E. Grant in just such an underrated role. But no, probably the closest thing to a festive favorite that's nothing to do with Christmas is a Bond film, because we'll all sit around and watch it. I don't know, Bill, Joe, or you guys even have you?
For me, it would be, I suppose, something that's always stuck with me as a child growing up was the fact that Ghostbusters would have been on at Christmas. So maybe every so often the Blu-ray gets put on. Star Wars and stuff, it would get put on as well. Those are the only things I can really think of.
The only, very quickly, just before you come into it, the only other ones I've just thought of in that time, Herbie, for some reason. Yeah. The Herbie movies, I think, because they're always on around that time, is something I would usually watch with my parents. For some reason, is it the Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo? Which, hey, I just remember I would get up early.
Is that the one with Don Knotts?
Yeah.
Ah, brilliant.
Don Knotts. I love the Herbie movies, even the Lindsay Lohan one. Yeah, even the Lindsay Lohan one. But I can't think of anything else, Joe.
Because of the reference in the Father Ted Christmas special, it's either Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Sadly, I've never been able to find a cut with extra dinosaurs, but also, it would be like a Spielberg sort of blockbuster, the ideal Christmas film that's not Christmassy.
Yeah. What about you guys? Are you not going to tell us? I'm going to tell our listeners that they have to go listen to your podcast.
Tune in to podcast episode 129. You'll find out.
Mine was Fellowship of the Ring or any of the Lord of the Rings movies, because they always came out around.
They came out at Christmas. Yeah.
And I remember my dad always took us sort of 3 years in a row to see those. So I actually watched the Fellowship of the Ring last night. It's just something I always associate with Christmas, and it's a movie that I would never tire of watching. So come up to Christmas, it always occurs to me to stick that on.
Because I suppose, I was going to say, I suppose the same would be like for like the Harry Potter stuff. Up until the last one, when they split it over the two films, you know, they would always been around about Christmas, I suppose, as well. Dan, I know I got over you.
Yeah, there's two movies for me, and there's one, I don't know why, it's A Bug's Life. I think I watched it on Christmas Eve in the morning on Disney Channel when I was like 5 years old or like 6 years old, and I associate that with Christmas for some reason. And in my head, I watched it every Christmas Eve. I don't think it did, but in my head, it's a Christmas movie. You know, it has nothing to do with Christmas. I don't know why I remember it as a Christmas movie. And the second is Rear Window. I think it's because my brother got me the box set of Hitchcock one year, and I was like, I'll watch Rear Window. I haven't watched it in years. And now that's like a tradition. I watch that every Christmas day. I usually whack it on though before I go to bed and kind of fall asleep watching it. But even though nothing to do with Christmas, based in New York in the summer, but that is probably that's probably one of my favorite movies.
Great show.
Brilliant business.
Brilliant.
Probably my favorite movie of all time.
Funny, we when you're talking there, Dan, about watching something and it leaves an imprint on you for something to do with Christmas. One, I don't know why I just thought of, but when you said that, I have a real vivid memory when I was younger of getting up stupidly early one Christmas and finding, I think it was on Channel 4, my grandmother, God rest her, got me this titchy little black and white TV. It was a beast of a thing. It was as long as the room, as long as the table that sat beside, but it was this titchy, like probably like 5-inch screen, probably an iPhone's bigger, but waking up stupidly early, couldn't get back to sleep. I remember my dad having to take me for a walk across the field at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like to try and get me to sleep, and then ruined the process by kind of going, look, can you see him? He's been, and I was like, I'm getting a bit sleepy. And it's like, no, Santa's, I'm not going to go to sleep. And then watching Burn Gully, The Last Rainforest, stupidly early one morning. And then there's Robin Williams, because I think he's playing a couple of roles in that.
He plays the bat, doesn't he? Coda.
And just thinking about that and what you said, that instantly reminds me of watching Fern Gully.
Tim Curry as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He's the bad, the essence.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
There, an environmental film before we even thought
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really it. I mean, I've had a lot of fun this evening. I guess with all the doom and gloom that's been going on in the news, and I think for a lot of people personally, I've enjoyed this. Not to go all highbrow, for this like 2 hours or so, we've kind of rambled on, maybe an hour. No, definitely it's been 2 hours. This last 2 hours of just talking about movies and talking about everything in between, all the small stuff that is important. So I guess that's us. So all that's left for me to do is to say thank you very much, Dan and Stephen, for being our judges.
Joe, thanks
for having us. It was great to be on.
Joe, next year we're definitely going to get more vicious, kind of like cruel judges who will not be like everybody wins. It's like they've just kind of the sports days now for schools. Like you get a medal just for turning up, even if you turned up and you didn't bring a bit of PE kit or anything. You get a wee medal, son. So, but thank you guys for being our judges. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks very much, Jim.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you, Jim.
And more importantly, to all of our guests and all of our listeners, a happy Christmas.
This has been We Need to Talk About Movies. Thanks for listening. For more information, visit BanterFlix.com. See you next time.